Welcome enthusiasts to another video. Today I'm going to tell you who the very first user, the customer of the Tesla semi-trucks is going to be. There's another small news coming out of Tesla as well about an upgrade. Then we're going to recap the week. There's so many things have happened during this week. I have two comments of the day because there were so many different replies on the video that I did yesterday with my guest Stravos. We're going to talk about that as well. Sorry about little technical difficulties, actually big technical difficulties we had. I had to pre-record it. Anyway, it's up on the channel already. But before that, if this is your first time here on this channel, welcome. My name is Alex. And if you are interested in staying up to date with everything that's going on in the world of electric cars, you came to the right place. Go ahead and click on that subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you can become a part of our community. All right, let's talk about the Semi again. Well, Tesla has announced who the very first customer, the very first user, the people who will actually be driving those trucks is going to be, and it is Tesla. I know it's not as exciting as everybody thought, and a lot of people kind of thought that would make sense, but they announced, I believe it was a couple of days ago, the video surfaced. The head of the semi-truck project was doing a speech in Europe, which is kind of a weird way to announce it. And he said, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and use it ourselves. And, you know, we've talked about it, right? Because it makes sense. They've kind of did it with the Model 3. They're having their own employees testing the Model 3. They're just about to open it to the customers. So they probably worked out all the quirks. Why not do this with a semi-truck? And as you know, there are two factories here, one in California in Fremont, about 10 minutes away from me. Another one is in Nevada, and I believe there's less than 300 miles between them. So even the lower battery pack of that semi should do the trick. That way they can, you know, start making trips. There are quite a few superchargers on the way, but I know that those have to be mega chargers, so they can also test the mega chargers, you know, within a reasonable distance from their headquarters, from both of their factories. So if there are any issues that come up, you know, they can fix it without having to fly out or drive out too far. So all of this is making sense. So that's, you know, that's just, again, another good decision by Tesla. I'm looking forward to actually seeing them here around the factory. I'll definitely try to come over there and snap a few pictures once they're actually going to be seriously testing it. The question, of course, is how ready are they for this? Is it going to be another year until they're actually ready to test it and we only saw like a very early prototype, or are they closer than we think? Stephen Barr in the chat room is giving me a correct number of miles, 258 miles between the two factories. So even with the bad conditions, weather conditions and wind and everything, even the lower battery pack of that truck should be able to make that trip. So yeah, so that's exciting, guys. That's good decision by Tesla. Okay, there was another thing that came out of Tesla yesterday, I believe, and we're talking about an upgrade. Now, this is not for all of us. These are for people who have purchased either Model S or Model X, P90DL. So it's basically P90D with a ludicrous mode as an added option. Now, if you have that car on order right now, they haven't really delivered it to you, you can upgrade it to a P100DL, I guess, for $10,000. If you already have one in your possession, you can do the same upgrade for $20,000. And you know, the reason for that, they're saying that the previous battery will have to be recycled, which is kind of a shame. I don't know if they're going to recycle it or maybe refurbish it. All right, so I don't know if $10,000, and we're just going to go with $10,000, right? It's a subset of a subset, but I don't know. I think I'm not really sure if it was it would be worth it. I mean, I know you're getting a little bit of more power. I know you're getting a little bit of more range, but for $10,000, you kind of can put a pretty decent deposit on the Model 3 and have tiny little payments if you lease it. So I don't know if this is good news or non-news, but it's something that came out of Tesla today. So I figured I would report it because this is, you know, we really get some news coming out on the weekend, but today we had some. All right. So by the way, tomorrow, and first of all, let me give you some props to our sponsor. Kind of forgot to mention them yesterday and the day before, but they are having a Black Friday sale. The coupon is down in the comment section, so you can use it throughout the entire weekend and tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm going to do a special video for you guys. Just highlight some places where you can go for Cyber Monday deals if you are an electric car owner. And I'm not talking about just Tesla owner, any electric car owner, and I'm not talking about just a product for your car. I mean, a lot of electric car owners, for example, like buying an electric lawnmowers, right? So I'm gonna go figure out if there are some any good deals and just electric stuff that the electric car buyers alike. Of course, the first one is going to be EVNX or EVNX, however you want to pronounce it. And I'm going to highlight some details, but this sale is going on right now. The coupon for you guys is already in the description of this video. Okay, now let's recap the news of the week here. And by the way, hi Jan from Slovakia. A lot of people are watching from all kinds of the world. Alex from Germany, Dino from Brazil, Portugal. I mean, I find that this time is actually pretty good for those watching US and Canada and in Europe. So thanks so much for watching, you guys. All right, let me switch to let's just recap some of the things that happened this week. The first one, kind of a big one from once again, Tesla just kind of dominated the entire week. Yes, Greg Shaw in the chats asked me green lawnmowers. Yeah, they're green lawnmowers, not necessarily in color, but in environmental impact because they run on electricity. Of course, Derek is from Santa Clara, my neighbor. Hi, how are you? Hope your son is going well. Blair from Atlantic, Canada. Another Alerio, I hope I pronounced that way, from Portugal. Hey guys, thanks for joining me. All right, we're going over the news from Tesla earlier this week. They announced the pricing for semi-truck, which was kind of blew everyone's minds. Everybody thought that was going to be like 100 grand more than it really is. A lot of people are pointing to the breakthrough in the battery technology. A lot of people are thinking about it's going to the solid state, lithium-ion batteries. But some of the people, as a comment of the day, I believe it was yesterday or the day before that I was talking about, it is possible that we're just not, they're not going to be using 2 kWh per mile, and it's actually a better use of the energy, and so the battery is not going to be 1,000 kWh battery, it's going to be maybe 500 or 600 kWh battery, and therefore that's where we're missing that 100 grand. But nevertheless, it was definitely good news. As you can see, for a 300-mile range, it can go up. It can be as low as 150,000. For those of you who are not familiar with semi trucks, which I wasn't until all this thing kind of broke open. The semi trucks start at about 100,000. They can go to 100,000 as well, but an average price seems to be between $110,000 and $130,000. So this is very close to that. Especially, don't forget, the rules are completely different in the trucking industry. They really care more about what is the operating cost per mile, and because diesel prices have been going up and the low electricity rate that Tesla is going to guarantee those companies, they're definitely going to make that what it looks like a small difference now right back. So they are very excited. As you can see, there have been quite a few orders already, including from Walmart and other companies. Tobias in the chat is asking, do you do more collaborations, video interviews with other truckers? I mean, yesterday I did one with Stravos. You can check it out. It was kind of controversial, and some people told me that maybe I wasn't really on his ass about it, I guess. And here, I guess I'll go into that segment now. Listen, I always preach this, and I have a relatively big Facebook group for Model S owners, and people come in there and put their opinions in, and a lot of times they're maybe just like Tesla haters or just green energy haters or whatever. And I'm not saying Stravos is actually his latest video. The reason I had him on is because he had a latest video talking about a Tesla semi-truck, and overall he's very excited. I mean, he's not a hater, but I'm telling you guys, this is extremely important to see the other side. Like, we're in a bubble, right? We love green energy, we love electric cars. A lot of us love Tesla in particular. So we need to understand that there are other opinions around us. They don't need to be the right opinions for us to be worth it for us to listen to them, right? Because we're still like a minority. People still don't either know, understand, or as excited about this as we are. So it's important to see what concerns of other people are, and see if maybe we can retool our message to convince them to sort of kind of come on to our side, or see the benefits of electric cars for themselves. Like, you know, Stavros was very excited about Tesla. He had some points where, again, like, for example, he said that, you know, the Tesla truck needs to have a 2,000-mile range because, you know, because there's not many mega chargers out there. Well, right now there's 0, but on another hand, you would of course tell them, well, listen, it's going to be there, and you won't need to worry about the range. And then of course, you know, the counter argument which I saw in the comments to that comment was because, hey, well, you know, in Europe a lot of people drive in pairs, right? So one person drives, another person sleeps in there. Well, this is not a sleeper truck, right? So maybe it won't be used for those purposes. So, but listen, here's the thing: we can go back and forth, and just like I said, watch that video. It's on the homepage of this channel right now, and read through the comments. I really guys. I thank you so much for like continuing the conversation, not just in the live chat, but also the conversation in the comment section. Seriously, before going on the air right now, I spent literally an hour going through the comments and reading them. By the way, when I click on love your comment, doesn't mean I necessarily agree with you. I just love the fact that you're participating. I don't care what your opinion is. If it matches mine, I love the fact that you guys are participating. So it was important to hear from someone like him. Like, for example, I never thought about the fact that the fact that there is a seat right in the middle of the truck, it might be a problem for those truckers who are used to backing their truck up by sticking their head out of the window. Like, you know, I'm not blind, and there are many semi trucks out here, but I've never seen that happen in 40 years of my life. So that was good insight, right? Also, you know, somebody in the comments said, well, you know, these truckers may not be up on technology, right? A lot of them use flip phones still. So are these, you know, 2 flat screens out there where you have to navigate the user interface and everything while you're driving this car? You know, is this necessarily going to be good for them? You know, and I mentioned this about pickup trucks, that maybe the target audience for the pickup trucks is not ready. And I got a lot of slack for that, saying, you know, but I'm a pickup truck driver and I'm up on the technology. This is a good debate to have, guys, and I'm not trying to take sides. Well, I mean, I am taking a side. I'm just not going to press everybody who doesn't agree with me or us as a community. The interview was about understanding the other side, understanding the people who know more about trucks than us. And again, maybe they're not as excited about Tesla and this technology as we are, but it's important for us to understand where they're coming from, because this truck is for them. It's for that community. It's not for us. None of us are going to drive this truck around to drop off our kids or to the office, though that would be pretty cool, right? So now Physics in the chat room says, I don't think truckers can see our out their window by turning their heads. They always rely on mirrors, which is why there's always that sign that says, if you can't see me in the mirror, I can't see you. True, but at the same time, this is what he mentioned, and I'm going to assume that some truckers do stick their heads out of the window when they're backing up, especially if it's a tight spot, right? That would make sense. Now, of course, we know there will be sensors and self-parking features and a lot of other things, but you know that when someone's been doing their jobs for 20, 30 years, certain way, these usually, and it's a human nature. I mean, it's very difficult to accept something new, right? It could be better, right? But for a lot of us, better is what's familiar. Just better doesn't mean better. You know what I mean? So this is actually important to understand, that these truckers are not part of maybe our sort of their brains are not wired the way ours are, and I don't mean like in a better or worse kind of way. It's just people who are set on their ways, especially professionals, are gonna just do their own thing, and I'm not sure that they will gladly just jog to our direction until we make it very easy for them to convert. So that's what I'm saying. Cinema Writer, who has a lot of debates with me in the comment section, who I'm sure you're from Russia, right? I mean, we spoke a little bit of Russian in the comment section. gives me more hard time. Well, I think only in my honest opinion person handle gives me more time than Cinema Writer, but I love the debate, man. Keep doing it. I love our conversations. He says the center seat on truck for the world. Some people are saying that may not be legal for regulations, and the cameras instead of mirrors may not be legal for regulations, but I'm sure this is a long journey for Tesla. They'll hopefully convince the rest of the world to change the regulations, and a lot of countries who are trying to cater to green energy will, I hope, gladly change those laws. I'm surprised that our Congress here just passed a law that will allow self-driving cars in pretty large amounts. So that was kind of, that was kind of cool, but and unexpected. I'm sure the regulations in Europe would also cater to that. Rick in the chat says, could Tesla use these two tables as tablets, as rear cameras in a split screen, I'm assuming, mode? Thus removes the need to put your head outside. Well, that's exactly what I'm assuming they are going to be doing. Now, when I was sitting in front of those two screens, I messed around with them a little bit and I did not see the camera feeds in those screens, and I'm assuming they would have put it up for us when we're doing demos inside the truck, but I'm sure it's going to be there, and I'm sure it's not going to be just one camera, it's going to be multiple cameras. So I'm assuming that that's what's going to be happening. One thing that I would also suggest, and when I was sitting there, I thought I had to kind of lean forward awkwardly to touch the screens, and people said, well, you're a short guy, you're sitting back, but they're big truckers who are not short, but they got, they're big, they got belly, so they're not going to be sitting that close to the screens. So I hope what they're going to fix is the adjustment of the screens going back and forth, and actually I see this happening with the Model 3 at some point, but for the truckers especially. But if you saw a shot that I did that day for one of the graphics right here, it was of the latest Mercedes-Benz semi-truck, and what that one has, it has a flat screen on the front, but also has another flat screen that's removable as an iPad, and I thought that was a great idea, because I'm sure truckers go around, check some of the statistics of the truck, the tire pressure, which probably will need to be checked at this point, but also the stuff that they're delivering, right? They're just trying to work their merchandise and their delivery times and so forth. So I actually thought if one of those flat screens will come off as a iPad kind of a type of thing, that wouldn't be that bad of an idea, actually, if you ask me. And Tesla P85D in the chat says it's smart because they can be used in the UK too. Yeah, so those trucks, if this flies with regulations in those countries, those trucks will actually, you guys are going to be able to use them anywhere, right? Because there's no left or right side. But don't forget, I'm not 100% sure, but there might be some regulations issues that Tesla might start lobbying for those laws to be changed in the next couple of years as they are testing this truck. Cinema Writer says, I never said Stavros was a hater, I just thought he was naive. Yeah, okay, I know you didn't, but I mean, some people label him as a hater, but this issue is bigger than Stavros, right? I mean, Stavros is a friend of the channel now, and he came on as somebody who just wanted to provide a different opinion about the technology he also likes. But there are haters out there, right? And I'm saying this conversation is a little bit bigger. And you know what? We have to convince them as well. That's kind of our job as a community, right? Enthusiasts, that's us. We need to be on top of this. We need to understand how we convince the rest of the world that this is good for them, And it's a tough job. Let's see. Cinema Writer also says their fast charger is like a mini supercharger. That's okay. You guys are talking about Ego. Leaf blower. All right, I'll look into leaf blowers when I'm doing the Cyber Monday deals. By the way, guys, let me know, since I'm going to be doing the research tonight and into the night, because that's where Cyber Monday starts. Let me know what kind of items you guys are excited about as electric car owners, so maybe I can research them as well. But don't tell me HD TVs, okay? Everyone's excited about that, I guess. But I'm talking about specifically that's either green energy or electric car specific that you guys would be excited about, so I can actually look into it. Jaden Tech in the chat room, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before, maybe once or twice, but welcome to the chat, welcome to the show. He's asking, what's your favorite car besides Tesla? You know, I saw this question earlier. I was like, oh man, I gotta think before I answer it. But now that I got to it, you know, I gotta tell you, it's like asking who's your favorite girlfriend except for your girlfriend. Well, nobody. You know what I mean? Nobody. I don't think. I mean, I think Tesla is so far ahead that I really can't pick another brand. You know, I used to love Lexus until they completely stopped being cutting edge. And you know, if we're just talking about cars and tech, I love Mercedes because of the customer service. Like I love their customer service, best one ever, better than Tesla. Not that that's saying much in the last couple of years. So I would go with them, but it's a combination of different things, different brands. I like different things about them, but you know, and I have to say, if Lucid Motors gets their crap together and that gets their investment, I might be a fan of theirs if they're really gonna go ahead and make that Lucid Air car. So I'm sorry for a very vague answer, but I'm telling you, man, I am a really big Tesla fan. Sometimes you can't tell, right? But yeah, so that question just stopped me. T Coley 100, pretty much a regular here. I mean, I need to make you an admin in the chat room or something, man. But thank you so much for participating here and in the comment section. By the way, guys, the comment section is still a place to be after I do the live streams. I do the live streams just because it's so amazing to interact with you guys live, and you're all adding so much information just to my videos. But the comment section usually blow up after, especially, you know, Stavros there was a lot of comments there. So thank you so much, and I hope everything's going well in Minneapolis where you are at. Let's see. Let's see. Hi from LA, Ulysses. I hope I pronounced it right. That's just a neighbor down south. Let's see. What's your favorite car again? Sorry, I already answered that. Besides Tesla, which I know wasn't a great answer. Hi from Louisiana, Errol. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Dina also in the house. Let's see. You guys are talking to each other, which is awesome, I think. Let's see. I'm so behind on your comments, guys. I'm just trying to scroll down. Coog, also a regular, asks, do you really think that Tesla... Oh, I just lost it. All right, let me go and find it. Let's see. I'm sorry, man, I lost your comment. I'm gonna try to find it, but if I can't, I'm sorry. I'll either ask that question again or not. Physics says, I don't think truckers can see. Okay, that I'm scrolled way up. Let's see. All right, guys, I'm just going to catch up. Sorry about that, man. Just ask that question again because I totally lost it. Coral in the chat room says the Semi will have capability of backing up with a trailer all by itself. I'm assuming so. You know, they try not to talk about the self-driving feature simply because, you know, it kind of still scares that industry and probably will for a while. But I would assume so. Why not? They have the capability. I hope it's more improved than 2.5 autopilot right now, but I'm sure they'll get there. It's still a couple of years from now. Bromance, welcome to the chat once again. Thank you for being a regular as well. Tesla, without saying it, is trying to make that car driverless, but that's just not a smart way to sell it, especially the people who still got jobs. That's exactly what I mentioned. You're 100% right and phrase it much better than me. Thank you for that. Physics in the chat room, another regular. I'm sure Tesla would enhance these screens cameras more over time for safety and ensure it meets laws, and both would compromise. Yes, that's the thing. Don't forget, this is 2 years before they actually go into produce it, and they already have all these features. So it will only get better. Vit in the chat room also says that he also speaks Russian. He actually wrote that in Russian. All right, I did not know that. Where in East Central Europe are you from? Let me know. I didn't know that. But Cinema Writer says I'm not Russian. I'm a bit of a Russophile. I don't know what that means. I'm not really, does it mean you love Russians or hate Russians? I don't know, but. Kudos to speaking Russian on the comment section anyway. Physics says if those screens come off, I'm sure that wouldn't be allowed if they're also used as side mirrors. Yeah, I mean, so however you want to, yes, I agree with you, and it's going to depend on regulations, but who says they can't add a third one, right? The one that I talked about in the Mercedes case, they have one main monitor in front of the driver and the one that's removable to the side. You know, so and also, I mean, I can, you know, just playing devil's advocate. If those side mirror, if the side mirror feed go, you know, is on that monitor and you remove it, well, maybe you cannot drive the truck then, right? So, or maybe there will be backup monitors just in case, that are just kind of you know, on their own, maybe smaller monitors. I'm sure things will change in the next couple of years. Physics in the chat room suggests that I research e-skateboards. That is true. You know, James Cook, another great YouTuber who I follow, he kind of has a vlog. He has a Tesla, but it's mainly about his vlog. He loves e-skateboards, so I will definitely try to research that. You know, I'm not gonna so much research for the deals, guys, because it's, you know, different, and I don't want this video to kind of die after Monday is over. I'm just gonna tell you where the sales are and what types of items are on sale, and you guys can come in and determine. I'm gonna give you actually a little bit of a secret how to get deals on Amazon even past Cyber Monday. Or I'll tell you right now. There's a browser add-on called Honey. You can add that browser, and it works with other sites like Macy's and so forth. And when you get to the item on Amazon and you have that plugin, it's free. It will tell you what the history of that price of that item is, and if it's the lowest one on the internet and within Amazon, and you can really good deals. Like I just went to Macy's website. I like my Acqua di Gio perfume. I should say cologne. And so right away they said, hey, you know, we got a bunch of coupons. Would you like me to apply it? And they automatically applied a coupon I wasn't even aware of. I got to save some money. So try the Honey extension for Chrome, and I think they have one for Firefox. That will save you some money. You're welcome, guys. Let's see. Cinema Writer in the chat room says, Tesla needs to build new places for them to eat with a healthy organic food. Truckers are walking heart attack bombs. All right, I didn't say it, you said it, okay? But yeah, I mean, I think actually for all of us, when I stop by a supercharger when I travel, which doesn't happen very often, but when I do, I prefer that there are some healthy options for all of us, right? I mean, we all can eat healthier probably. So it would be a great idea for all of us. DD Dyer Straits in the chat says, this truck is for fleets. If you've ever seen a fleet truck, it's pretty bare bones. It's the fleet owner who pays the fuel bill. The point here is driver will drive what they're told to drive. Yes, and you know, obviously it's not a sleeper truck, and maybe they'll make one in the future. And there are different purposes for different trucks, right? For example, the trucks that are navigating the city that just do deliveries, you know, 100-mile range is just fine for them, right? Especially driving in the city, you get more energy back. So you can drive kind of, you know, your mileage is better, your range is better. So yeah, there are a lot of different use for the trucks. And I'm sure that, you know, Tesla will expand on their sort of a truck fleet at some point. So there's so many uses for that. And don't forget, like I reported on I forgot the name of the company already, but I reported on it last week. You know, the electric delivery truck that they have, it has 100 miles, but it's for deliveries and has a drone built in, right? So let's say it's UPS driver drives up to the neighborhood and doesn't have to go and get bit by the dog or get sprayed by sprinklers. The truck driver just basically puts the packages in the drone and navigates the drone to the door of the person they're delivering to. That will also help with, you know, any kind of gated communities or some people who have gates and so forth. So there's just so many applications for this technology that we can talk about it all day. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have, like, we don't have to cater to like 100%. Well, Tesla doesn't have to cater to 100% of all truckers to win them over. It could be like 80% of the truckers, which I think this truck will definitely do the trick. So I absolutely agree. Cinema Writer correctly so says we have to sell the lower fatigue and safety protections, you know, and self-driving features will have with that. Don't forget there are a lot of regulations on green energy and how much diesel and how much they can pollute the environment, and that truck solves that problem. With a windshield that's like super, you know, explosion proof is also improving the safety issue for them as well. This truck has a lot of technology, guys. I know we were all drooling over the Roadster all this time, but I'm telling you, this truck has so so many awesome things that it has in it that hopefully will be passed on to the future regular Model 3, Model S, Model X owners in the future. I'm just really excited about it. I want to make a separate video of what all of this means for us. All these things are coming up. I just can't keep up. I mean, I can, but I just don't have time to do kind of a philosophical what if kind of a video yet. But I will, guys, when it's slow news, which I'm assuming is going to be hopefully soon with all the holidays. Let's see. Let me just scroll down. You guys are talking about some of the other ideas for me to cover as far as Cyber Monday. Cyber Monday is concerned, because I'm going to be doing a video about that, and sending you guys to some good deals. And of course, let me mention again, my awesome sponsor Evanex has a deal right now, $10 off, I believe, on $100 or more purchase. I mean, you can easily spend $100 there, of course. It's in the description of this video. Have at it. It's not only are their sponsors, I'm a customer, so I enjoy their products. Might actually get a few things myself, and I know I still owe you guys a review of a couple of things I got from them last week. Physics in the chat says, even if the drivers get a heart attack, the truck will take over. That's a good idea. And to be honest with you, let's take it a step further. So I'm wearing I'm wearing my Fitbit on the ankle right now because I count steps. But why not have a Fitbit that goes on, or any kind of device that goes on the wrist of a trucker, right? And have it synced up with the monitors, with the system, because it's very obvious when someone is falling asleep. For example, my Fitbit tells me how well I slept. When I wake up, I don't go to my girlfriend, oh honey, I didn't sleep very well today, because I go and look at my app on my phone that tells me how well I slept, because it will give me all the patterns. I might show you guys in the camera. So my Fitbit will tell me exactly how I slept, what my patterns were, was it deep sleep or not deep sleep, and so forth. See, it gives me all of this cool statistics about what kind of sleep I had. Well, you can use this technology for truckers, right? Or really anybody, but especially truckers, because they're more prone to maybe falling asleep, because it's kind of a tedious and boring job. And a lot of them say that even though they're been working at night all of their lives, they still, feel sleepy closer to the beginning of the day, like 5 or 6 in the morning. So what if that device is on the hand and they're falling asleep, if their heart rate beat is lowering, it will sound some sort of alarm saying, hey, you got to keep awake, buddy, or the autopilot takes over until they kind of wake them up. And of course, if someone's having a heart attack or whatever, irregular heartbeat, they can also sort of slow the truck down and maybe even call the ambulance. So all of this, guys, all of this technology, well, these electric cars are more than just cars, more than just vehicles. This is technology. This is why, Consumer Electronics Show that's going to be in January. That's why there's so many electric cars, driverless cars, technology that's going to be presented there this common one, and they already had one in January, because this is technology. I absolutely I also love it. Okay, Cinema Right in the chat corrects me. I guess phobe means a fan. So, all right, that's fair enough. That's good. That's definitely good. Christopher Angelis in the chat says Ford has a trailer backup assist, so Tesla would be a no-brainer. That would be automatic without a pilot. Absolutely, you're completely correct. Let's see. Just scrolling. Roman in the chat says it is harder to implement self-driving on semis because the driving section may have all the tech necessary, but not the tail. Tails can be swapped, and they probably won't have any sensor anytime soon. You know what? You bring an interesting point, because I wonder if Tesla will insist or produce their own trailers, because we haven't really heard about it, right? We haven't heard about. Let me just switch. We've been talking about semis. We haven't really heard from them if the trailer has to be a Tesla trailer, or if you'll get some additional features if you're using a Tesla trailer. That would be interesting, because a lot of people also suggested that the trailer would have extra batteries in it. So that's an interesting point. I don't know. Maybe that's something they're gonna announce to us, that the trailers are also Tesla trailers that have some cool features. Donovan in the chat Yes, by the way, thank you, Donovan, in the chat. You're doing my job. You're asking everybody to hit the like button. You guys, if you don't mind, if you're enjoying this feed, if you're enjoying my channel, or if you're just enjoying Tesla and electric cars, please go ahead and click on the thumbs up. That always helps the video to do better. If you don't mind, go ahead and click on that. And if you're just here as a hater or you just don't like me, that's okay. You can click the sarcastic thumbs up, like, yeah, it's good job. You know, I will accept that as long as you click on that thumbs up button. And thanks, guys, for reminding that. Let's see. But Donovan Small in the chat says, oh, I'm sorry, that was from Donnie Tucker. Thank you, Donnie. Next one is Donovan Small says, I have always owned Mercedes, but the cost to drive it from Sweden to Spain in gas is so high. Now learning about Tesla, I sold my Mercedes and about to buy a Tesla. Good for you. I love Mercedes because of their customer service, but you're right. It's a gas guzzler, obviously, because it's more of a performance car. And I have to say, Mercedes, BMW, now Lexus, actually, I feel like these cars, you know, people literally just buy them for the name. Because I'm sorry, guys, I don't mean to offend anybody, but who owns one right now. But if you look at the technology that's in those cars, just take a brand new BMW. 95% of the technology is something that was available 10 to 20 years ago. They've stopped innovating. And that's a problem. I like companies that innovate. So Tesla is my choice. Somebody earlier asked, what's the company other than Tesla that I like? And I don't have an answer because I don't see any other company innovating except for maybe Lucid Motors. But we'll see if it's we'll see if what they're selling is actually a real thing. Let's see. All right, two people who speak and like Russian are talking to each other. That's pretty good. Rick in the chat room says T-Sport Line. You know, there are T-Sport Line. They're also on my list to look into their deals. They have a deal right now. I think if you're on their emailing list, you will get that. John Arnie Hammersmark. Yes, I think so. In the chat says Tesla Watch. I would research Tesla Watch if there was one. I do have a separate video, guys. You can search my channel for the top 5 apps that are good for Tesla drivers and electric car drivers. Check it out. And there are some apps there that I recommend are for like Apple Watch and smart watches and stuff like that. Kevin in the chat room, Kevin Smith in the chat room correctly points out that extra batteries would eat up your load weight. That's a non-starter. Yes, unless those batteries can make themselves more useful, that they are, you know, hurting the range. Because, like, you know, don't forget, some of those trailers need to have refrigeration. The truck needs to have just air conditioning for the driver, and there are a lot of other things that are running that may just use that extra battery that might be in a trailer, especially if it's lightweight. We'll see what breakthrough technology they have by then. But yes, listen, there's a good reason why Prius and Leaf and other cars don't go that far on their batteries. Not just because they couldn't jam another extra battery in there. They could. It's just the weight made it so, you know, heavy that no longer the range can be increased. As a matter of fact, it decreases. Physics in the chat says, I guess with the e-trucks they will be forced to rest since it takes 30 minutes to charge, but not sure how fast the ICE trucks take to fill up for them to fall asleep at the wheel. I think the diesel trucks still take like 10 or 15 minutes to fill up. And I think a lot of times it's also the pressure at the gas stations where they're filling up. If there's a lot of people filling up, just like with the chargers, the pressure is not that high. So it takes longer to put that fuel in the truck. You know, 30 minutes is, I feel like, you know, just for the purpose of resting per regulations and just, you know, taking a leak or, you know, whatever you want to do in the bathroom and taking a rest. I think that's pretty reasonable. And you know that time will start decreasing, right? So it's not like it's going to be 30 minutes forever. Robert Hall in the chat says Tesla should send all of us American diesel mechanics that don't move road service to school for free. Otherwise, when they break, who's going to fix them? Yes, you know, this whole movement is about converting so many different parts of this industry, including the mechanics, right? Because don't forget, there won't be as many things to break in a truck like that. I mean, in cars, just electric cars, there's less moving parts. There's no transmission. I think mechanics won't be as much as mechanics, but I think that profession will be transferred in more of a taking care of the track statistics, you know, tracking it, making sure that everything's correct, getting into the software. You know, mechanics will become partially software engineers and troubleshooters. A lot of them are right now. You know, mechanics at Tesla, a lot of them have to understand the software and troubleshoot and update the software. I believe that there will be enough work for everybody. You know, remember when the Industrial Revolution came in and a lot of machines started doing people's work and they said, oh my God, everyone's going to be out of work. Listen, there will always be jobs. There will always be jobs. The new technologies create new jobs. Yes, they might kill some older jobs, but the new jobs will give more opportunities to people who want to make more money, maybe get promoted and so forth. So I wouldn't be worried about it, really. Solar trailer, says Tesla P85D. You know, we've discussed this many times. Right now, solar batteries are just not enough to contribute to the energy, to getting enough energy to be worth it in cars or even trailers, because, you know, they're heavy and they only collect so much sunlight, and they don't collect sunlight when it's dark or when it's gloomy or when it's night. And so you're still hauling them and spending energy. So right now the technology is just not there yet. ADFAD in the chat says, what about snap-on sensors for trailer swaps? Snap-on sensors, I think Stavros mentioned it yesterday, and I'm sure that's coming. If it's not there already, I'm sure they'll, you know, Tesla has consulted the trucking industry about all of this, and I think they're doing a good job. The people from the trucking industry that I talked to at the unveiling event last week confirmed that, you know, they've been involved for a while now. So I would not be concerned about Tesla forgetting about something important that's important to the trucking industry. I think they've done a great job right now. Cinema Writer in the chat room says the pickup truck will be mega and needs a much bigger scale of production around the world. I live in a country where they are rare, the UK, but the biggest countries in the world are EV pickup hungry, like America. Absolutely. I don't think that the pickup truck that we have seen on the picture during the presentation is actually going to make it. And if it's going to make it, it's going to be a commercial pickup truck. I think they still owe us an actual pickup truck, but I don't see it's happening for another year or two because, you know, there's still Model Y. So I think that's reasonable not to expect it anytime soon. Physics in the chat room says, I would guess the trailer floor, possible ceiling too, would be batteries. Not sure if they currently showed placing them behind the driver's seat between cabin and trailer. I don't really care where to place batteries. I'm assuming you want to place them down low just for the low center of gravity. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I just don't know if they're worth the extra weight, you know? Cinema Writer says Indonesia, for example, the largest population Muslim country in the world, is a huge pickup truck market. Yeah, you know, don't forget that countries like Indonesia and even India, that's a big market, right? A lot of times their infrastructure is not ready and they just don't have enough people with money to buy expensive electric cars. Until the price goes down, until that country have infrastructure, a lot of times regular people in their apartments and condos and houses don't have electricity all day long. How do you think they're going to charge their cars that take just as much as a house sometimes every day if they don't have enough of the electric grid supporting their lifestyle right now? So I don't see that happening. Definitely not Indonesia, unless I don't know something about Indonesia. Roman P in the chat room says, what about fridge trailers? How are they going to be charged? Or they will take power from the semi? You know, those are logistics. I mean, maybe they'll be charged separately. Actually, that would make sense because sometimes trailers would be waiting for a truck to be picked up at the location. And I'm assuming those locations will have chargers. So it would make sense for the trailer, if it has a battery on its own, to be charged. As a matter of fact, hey, here's an idea, guys. Boom, I just have an idea. What if the battery is in a trailer and a trailer is being charged independent of the truck? So for example, the truck comes in, it's going to unhook a trailer with the merchandise, get another trailer to go back right out. So instead of waiting there, unloading the load, which a lot of times they don't because they just switch trailers and whoever's at the locations unloading the load. What if that, empty truck, the empty battery is going to be left behind and the new trailer with a full battery will be hooked on to the truck, and boom, they got a brand new charge without really wasting any time. There's an idea right there. You're welcome, Elon. Physics in the chat room is encouraging me to offend them. That's not what this channel is about, and I really try not to offend people. I'm trying to speak the truth, but not to offend anybody. I don't know you. I don't even know who you're referring to. As far as I hope I didn't offend anybody here yet. Greg Shaw in the chat room says, has Elon decided where to put the next gigafactory yet? I think China. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be gigafactory. I don't know. I think it's just going to be 2 in 1. But I think that's where it's at. And also, I know there are plans for Europe as well. Kevin Smith in the chat room asks, what do you think of using the semi base to build an RV or a bus or a lot of other things? Absolutely. I think this is a breakthrough into commercial space that can be reused 100 times over for different purposes. So yeah, absolutely. I absolutely. Frosty Flake, I've never seen you in the chat room, so welcome, my friend. Says electric refrigerator trailer makes sense too. I'm assuming that's what you meant by you saying refer. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm gonna wait until you clarify that. But yeah, I mean, refrigerator trailers are a thing, you know, because you gotta keep the merchandise cool. Greg Shaw in the chat room once again says, will Tesla make more than just vehicle batteries? Well, they already are. They're making home batteries. Power packs are all about that. They're making batteries for the grid. They just finished one in Australia, the largest battery farm there, to power that. They obviously sending them to Puerto Rico. So absolutely. As a matter of fact, you have to understand, Tesla is more than a car company. It's a technology company, but it's also an energy company. And that, I mean, they're kind of dragging their feet on revamping their Solar City acquisition. But once they're going, that, you know, their energy product sales might actually overtake their car sales, I think. And you know, you can count their superchargers as part of the energy company part of the deal rather than car part of the company, right? Because that's an energy provider. Let's see. I lost a lot of questions. Physics in the chat room says, MNX got some things. I'd like to see someone build a custom dash for those Model 3 owners who miss it or want to make their different or with extra gadgets. I am sure once Model 3 comes out, guys, there will be a ton of different products. Definitely from MNX, but just from all kinds of different manufacturers, because it's such a big market. And yes, it's missing that HUD, and I'm sure people will try to create it. I would not be surprised if MNX is working on this as we speak right now. Guys, let me cover another news that came out. I just wanted to go through a few other things that happened this week. We talked about Faraday Future and asking if they really have one, because there was a report about Tata, the Indian company that also owns Jaguar, investing also almost $1 billion into them, but they're denying it. So we don't know what's going on. Faraday Future is dying. Without an investment, they can't move forward. They lost a lot of talent and money. So without it, they're going to probably die next year, unfortunately. The reason I think Tata is investing in them, if that's true, is because once they go belly up, Tata will have their technology, which I think is a smart move. Tata owns Jaguar. Jaguar is just about to come up with this thing, and by the way, I am definitely going to consider this one. This is a Jaguar I-Pace. I love the way it looks. If it has the 200+ mile range, I think this is going to be a real competitor to Tesla and a real choice for people like me who might just, you know, want to have a different brand and try them out. Of course, the charging network is still going to be a problem, but next year things are probably going to be changing. So back to Faraday Future, you know, we're going to see what happens with them. If it's true about the investment, this is hopefully enough for them to move forward for the next year. Maybe start building the car in a smaller numbers, maybe rent a factory or rent a part of the factory. But, you know, and not everybody loves the look of this car, but I'm showing the video right now for you guys. But listen, I'm going to root for any startups, for any new technology in this sector. So let's see what happens with them. Another news came out of Fisker. They patented the technology. They're claiming the patented technology of charging a 500-mile battery in just 1 minute. I got so many comments on that one, guys. I think more than ever in my Facebook group for the Model S owners. I've never gotten so many comments on when I post the links to my video. A lot of people calling it a fraud. You know, guys, too many haters, I have to say. Let's not hate. We're still part of the same community. You know, let Fisker do the other thing. If this is a technology that they're really gonna come up with and and move forward with, let's be happy for somebody breaking through the battery technology and the charging technology, right? Think about it when you're charging your car to the supercharger and want to get going. You want somebody to make it better. If they figured out how to do it, let's give them some kudos. They are unveiling the new e-Motion, which is, you see it right here. That's the car they're going to be unveiling at the Consumer Electronics Show this January. I'll be there for you guys to cover it. I'll try to cover it live as well. But hey, let's see what happens. Now that car is not going to have the technology. It's still going to have a lithium-ion batteries. The technology that they've patented is not going to be available until at least 2023. So let's just take it with a grain of salt. Another thing that came out this week, Model 3. That's actually probably the biggest news of the entire week, right? Model 3 is open up the configurator to the rest of the world. The very first non-Tesla employees are now configuring their cars, and Tesla is promising to deliver them those cars in 4 weeks, which is less than 4 weeks now. That's pretty exciting. We're going to see more of those. That also means that they've figured out all the little issues, or just about to, with the car. It's production ready for the rest of the world. That's very exciting. People are posting there from videos and screenshots of how they're configuring theirs. You're still going to have to go for the long range, and I believe a premium package in order to receive them now. If you're looking for a cheaper version, you might have to wait until March and on. But these cars are ready for prime time. So that was another exciting news for that. And just, you know, this week was just as exciting as the previous week. I would say, well, not maybe just as exciting because of the event, but just as many news. I have to say, it's been pretty cool. Let's see. I'm gonna go back to the chat room where you guys continue talking, which is awesome. Donovan Small in the chat room says, no commercial about any cars can chance by mine about buying anything else but a Tesla. Maybe I read it wrong, but it looks like you're in the same boat with me. I am a Tesla fan right now. I don't see buying anything else unless Lucid Air comes out with something, and unless this Jaguar I-Pace is an impressive car for you know, a reasonable price, and the charging networks are there. So Rick in the chat room suggests the Tesla University for Mechanics. I'm actually sure they already have one. I'm sure they have a very extensive training program, because being a mechanic on a Tesla, I'm sure, is nothing like being a mechanic on any other car. I don't know if they're calling it a university, but I'm sure it's there. Let's see, the Yodex. This is the first time I see you in the chat room. Welcome to the live show, my friend. Thank you so much for participating. He or she asks, why not put batteries in the trailers as reserves or for longer haul? Just like, you know, we've discussed, because of the weight. If the weight is not worth the energy they're going to give to you, then it's not worth it. It's just going to actually take more energy than you really want to. And don't forget, extra batteries will cost a lot of money, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. Those are not cheap still. Alex Young in the chat room says Sono Motors is claiming up to 20 kilometers per day of solar energy. That's not much, actually. So, and again, I'm assuming they're claiming it when there's a sun and not a cloudy day. So that's probably best case scenario, and it's still not enough. It's just not, you know, it's just not enough. But good start. I mean, obviously, if they're actually in the positive as far as gaining energy, that's something. But I'm not really sure if it's enough to run air conditioning all day, to be honest with you. Epic Lion says, apparently Tesla might run out of money. Is this true? So I know you guys seen a lot of articles about Tesla, possibly running out of money. It's not really about that. I'm sure they have calculators at Tesla and accountants. I don't see them running out of money. There's a good plan there, and don't forget, they are just ramping up the production of the car that will hopefully give them a lot of profits in a very near future. So, you know, if you think about Amazon, by the way, Amazon has not been profitable for like the first 10 or 15 years. And everybody invested in Amazon because everybody understood you're building up a giant company for a long run. And so you're going to be reinvesting the money rather than, and you know, that's what Tesla is doing right now. So Tesla is kind of an Amazon of electric cars and energy. Yes, they're burning a lot of money. The estimates of whatever, $500 million per hour or some stupid number. Some of them are completely incorrect, but they are burning a lot of money and they've admitted to it. They're going to burn like $3 billion in, I think, like the second part of this year, and then almost done with it, right? But that's to ramp up the production of the freaking Model 3, guys. You know, this is very important. So yeah, I mean, why would you expect anything less? They're also investing in superchargers and factories and in so many different technologies. Yeah, they're gonna, this is actually a bargain if you ask me. If you're an investor and the company says, hey, I'm gonna burn $3 billion in half a year, but I'm gonna have a $35,000 electric car in production already going. I'm going to have a solar roof, power packs, supercharging network, and I'm just about to build a factory. You would say, oh my God, hell yes. So I don't think they're going to run out of money. By the way, they can, they're greatly positioned to have credit lines because I believe they've already secured a few of them. They're greatly positioned to sell more stock if they really need to. So I don't see them running out of money per se. And you know, when you're talking about that, it's kind of weird to say, well, they're going to run out of money. It's not like they have a wallet with a cash in it and they're a drifter, you know, trying to get to the next stop and they just ran out of money out of their wallet. There are a lot of different ways how you can raise money and how you can save money as well. So yes, they've spent a lot of money right now, but that was very much needed, and they're going to start getting it back by selling Model 3s, selling solar roofs, selling power packs. So I wouldn't be worried. I'm not really worried. I'm sure they have accountants and they don't know math much better than us, though. You don't even have to be good at math to figure out when you need to kind of stop burning money. Let's see. I'm just trying to catch up with your comments. Cinema Writer says battery weight in a car only costs about 10%. So if Leaf had a 60 kilowatt hour, they only lose 4 kilowatt hour for the weight. I'm not really sure if that's true because I'm not sure why wouldn't they've done it anyway. It's not like they couldn't have piled up more batteries. I really do believe it's about the weight that's really just that much harder to haul. And the battery that they're going to come up with just by doubling the weight is not going to be worth the energy they're going to be getting out of those batteries to move the car. So I think that's actually the biggest problem. Let's see. Tobias Ender in the chat room, once again, welcome. I don't think I've seen you here before. Thank you so much for joining us. It says, wasn't it 30 or 35 kilometers at Sono Motors? I don't know. I just know it's right now it's not enough. And don't forget the car that's like nothing but solar batteries on them. It doesn't really look very good. I think a lot of people will just opt out because of the looks. And also, I think if you're talking about some of them, you know, they kind of put out there, like you have to park that car and put out, like unfold your solar battery array in order to charge. I don't know if that's what Sono Motors do, but hey, listen, again, I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for anybody who's doing new technology. It's just the question is it viable enough? And I know it's becoming viable. It's just not there yet. Not there yet. Kevin Smith in chat room says, I'm sure it would work with current trucks and you'll lose some small amount of range when running in that config. True. Corey Goodwin and in the chat room says 14 years until the world is 100% solar powered. Strongly doubt it. I'm not even surprised. I'm not even think Norway will be 100% solar powered. Well, actually, okay, 14 years maybe Norway will, but you know, you have to understand here in the United States, the lobby of energy companies, oil companies are one of the best and biggest in the world. They're not going to let it die that easily. And also, don't forget, when you're talking about the world, we're talking about a lot of developing countries, and those countries are nowhere near of having infrastructure or buying power of their population to welcome this technology in the next 5 or 10 years. So as much as I appreciate the optimism, I think it's going to take more than that. Well, we will take a generation, actually, if you ask me. So let's see. Physics asks, with a butt-end car, and that now I understand why it was censored and I had to improve because of the word butt here in the chat by YouTube. With a butt-end car looking like that, no wonder they died. I'm sure you're talking about the Faraday Future. Let me just bring up the picture again of the FF91. I mean, I don't have a problem with the butt. I mean, I think it's hard to design a good-looking butt end of an SUV because it's an SUV. I thought it was fine, to be honest with you. I have more problems with the front of this car, to be honest with you, as far as design is concerned. But you know, to each its own. I thought it was okay. Let's see. Hello from Mountain View, California, from Leon. Hello, neighbor. I am in Santa Clara, California. Mountain View is the place where Elon usually comes and does the annual shareholder meetings at the Computer History Museum. Also, Mountain View is a home to one of the busiest superchargers in the world. And I did a supercharger confession segment that I haven't really posted yet. And while we were there interviewing Tesla owners, the line was, I believe, like 15 cars long at those superchargers, and I had to have an attendant to manage the cars there. So Mountain View, California is in the middle of everything as far as the Tesla is concerned. Tesla P85D says, have you read about SpaceX technology and Roadster? Know something about it? I know Elon said that they were using SpaceX technology for Roadster. I don't know what it is yet, and I haven't seen articles about it. So, I mean, what it is, but I'll keep my eye on it. I'll definitely keep my eye on it for sure. Frosty Flake in the chat says, Tesla making trailers or partnering makes sense for refer trailers. I'm assuming you mean refrigerator trailers. Other sensor capabilities, as in load handling and management, such as robotics. I don't know enough about semi-trucks. That's why I had people like Svatos yesterday on my channel to explain those things to me, but I still need to learn a lot. I think all of us will probably benefit from learning a lot about it. Kevin Smith says, why say it's a fraud? Let's see if it works. We all win. I agree. I don't understand the hate within our community, guys. I know a lot of you watching, because a lot of you come from my Tesla group on Facebook, and just a lot of electric car owners or Tesla owners. Why hate within the community, guys? I think, and Elon said it. Elon is one of the biggest supporters of all green energy. That's why he opened up patents almost immediately after the Model S came out. So I don't really know why we're hating. Listen, if Faraday Future has the technology or Fisker has the technology, let them do it. Let them lead the way. Tesla needs someone else to help them push everything forward. We have enough of other people, other parts of the car industry and energy industry that we need to hate, for the lack of a better word, and I know there's a better word out there. We need to convince, so let's not hate on others who are trying to just make it within the same industry. So let's see if they can make it. Let's see if Fisker can make it. Let's see if Faraday Future can make it. I would wish we wouldn't hate within our small community, still very small community. Vit in the chat room says the International Extreme Truck Series is a range of pickup trucks produced by Navistar International from 2004 and 2008. I think you guys are talking about some other topics you're having in the conversation in the chat room. This is awesome. T-Coley 100. I like the Lucid Air, he says, design, but Tesla is my favorite. I agree, but inside of, I don't know if you've seen, I have a video where they let me come in and sit in the car and touch it and smell it and rub against it, whatever, and have an interview. I think it's one of my best videos. Check it out on my channel. I like, if they can really make that car, I like the luxury of that car inside better than Tesla's. I have to tell you that right away. I will miss the screen, the bigger screen that they put a little bit lower. So that's maybe the only thing that I would wish they would change. But I like the luxury of Lucid Air more than Tesla's, I have to admit. But yes, they still need to figure a lot of things out. Frosty Flake in the chat says, next Gigafactory is supposed to be in Germany or Eastern Europe. China consumer debt took very high spike last quarter. That is concerning according to some. Yes, just like I said, the next factory or Gigafactory is in Europe, but also in China. Is something that they're planning very quickly, from what I understand, just to get it more and more to that market. China is one of the, if not they're going to be first one very soon, but I think they're second consumers of Tesla products right now. They are definitely leading the way in the green energy in the world and in electric cars. Let's see. You know what, guys? Let me get to the comment of the day, because I have two of them and I love that section. The first one comes from John Sylvester, also regular, says Rocky Mountain Institute has been running a study. Now in its 10th year. He talks about the fuel efficiency of the trucks, and you can read the comment here. It's so big that I'm kind of being squeezed out of my own video feed, but you can read it in the comment section. It's he basically saying the bottom line is this: it costs $350 or so per 1,000 miles of a diesel truck, and it costs $140, which is less than half per the same 1,000 miles in a Tesla. That's 60% reduction cost. So you can see his math, and I thought, you know, when you guys put that math in, when you kind of give us a like hardcore number, something that takes me a long time to investigate, and you guys do it for me, I really appreciate it. That's why I love featuring comments like that. So that one from John, thank you, John, so much. But I have another one that's just as good, also about well, this one is from Chris Carson. Okay, he says 35 years driving semi-trailer, owned several, so that's another opinion from the other side. And he says, and this is the comment for the video that I did with Stavros yesterday. He says about 500 miles is fine. I think battery swapping would work better, as you can make that real fast. I gotta tell you, man, I really am disappointed that Tesla hasn't moved forward with a battery swapping for the Model S. I thought, you know, they had the technology, and I really have no idea why it didn't take off. I hope they rethink it and maybe come back with it. But as you know, Model 3 right now is already designed where it's impossible to do. So that will probably die. Maybe they will revamp it with the trucks, but I agree. Battery swapping is the best. You can, a lot of people in Europe, like people who are watching in the United States and Canada, you guys, in Europe, a lot of people lease their batteries, which is a great way of kind of separating, you know, it's kind of like we separate the gas cars and gasoline. This is a way of separating electric cars and the batteries, which kind of makes sense. So yeah, battery swapping would only kind of play into it perfectly. Chris continues in his comment, the driving position is illegal in most of the world, just a normal seat will be fine. Okay, so I don't know about that. If it is illegal in most of the world, that Tesla needs to start lobbying for some laws to be passed. I don't know why it would be illegal, but again, this is something to look into. I'm sure it's regulations that can be changed relatively easily in countries that want to cater and already love the electric cars and give a lot of incentives to that industry. I can see those laws changing by the time the semi-truck hits the road in those countries, but we'll start with America first, because that's where they will be produced at and used at in the United States. And Chris finishes with says, as the man said, we are used to a certain view and do quite trick stuff using it on occasion. And you know, this is just goes to what I said, guys. You know, it's hard to change into new habits when you have so many old habits, you know, doing anything really, whether it is whatever it is that you do for a living, but especially with truck driving. You know, better does not mean better for if you're used to something already. I have a friend who still uses a flip phone. Okay, he doesn't really want to learn the new technology because he's comfortable with what he has. He knows that it's not just about learning new screens and buttons. He knows it's a new lifestyle of having to answer text messages and Facebook messages and just having all of this information coming at him. And he chooses not to. Not because he's stupid, just because he doesn't want to change the lifestyle he likes. He doesn't want to spend his time learning it. He's a musician. He'd rather, you know, learn a new song, write a new song, or learn a new instrument than learn the technology that will probably make his life a little bit busier and more stressful. So that makes sense, guys. So anyway, thank you so much for your comments, you guys. The comment section in my videos has been awesome and amazing, and thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. You guys are carrying this conversation beyond the videos. I love reading your comments, and a lot of times you guys are educating me and the rest of my community, our community really, I should say. So thank you so much for that. This is why I love doing this live shows. I love getting into the comment section because you guys are so awesome with just your comments, especially when we get people who kind of are part of the industry, a part of the inner circle that we need to know more about. Kevin Smith once again says that we shouldn't be calling it a fraud. We should try to make sure to root for other companies who produce technologies that are green technologies because we all win. I agree. And I think I already read that comment once. I just love reading it one more time, guys. I'm not going insane. I know I read it before. Rick in the chat room says, did you get your invitation for Model 3? I have not. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I have to say, by the way, guys, I reserved 10 Model 3s at first, and then they took 8 of them away. I don't know why they let me give them an extra $8,000, and then a month later took them away. I asked them, can I make 10 reservations? They're sure, just do 2 at a time. So that was a little bit disappointing. I have 2 reservations. You know, I made it in the same day when things opened up. I know people, now I went to a location at the Fremont factory that a lot of people didn't know about, so there wasn't much of a line. Some of my friends who stood in line in like more busier locations, I shouldn't say more busier locations, you know, got their reservations after me, even though they got it there like at 5 in the morning. And I'm also in California. I'm also a current owner. So I thought I would be one of the first ones to receive it. So I have not. Now, with that said, I am not going to be getting my Model 3 right away because both of my Model S cars, leases won't expire until September and October of next year. So I have, you know, about a year to go. And then we'll see. I love my Model S. I'm going to stay with the Model S. My girlfriend, despite her doubts, will probably switch to Model 3 just because she has a small commute and that's all she uses her car for. So we might end up with a Model 3. Obviously I would just like to own a 2 different types of Tesla, but again, you never know. We'll see what Jaguar does. Maybe we'll try that out. Of course, I'm talking about the I-Pace. I'm looking for the picture right now because I just love the way that car looks. I gotta tell you, I've had a Jaguar before. They do have their own problems, and of course, I can't imagine them not having even more problems since it's their first real electric car. But hey, with a good warranty, I wouldn't mind. And of course, there's a Nissan Leaf. I mean, I don't hate the way it looks anymore. I think it's actually pretty a reasonable car. But you know what? If we need to watch our budget, maybe that's the type of car she'll get as well. I don't have anything against. I think Nissan Leaf, I've done 4 stories about it now. I'm excited about this car, so that's another possibility. But I think I will stick with a Model S and a Model 3. That's the kind of car I'm gonna get, and I love this red color. Hey guys in the chat room, let me know which color do you like for the Model 3. I know we kind of had that conversation already, but I love the red, I love the black. I mean, probably gonna go with black, but the white and silver looks really awesome as well. Let me know what you guys think. I've seen all of them in person. If you haven't already, if you are in the San Francisco Bay Area, you can just drive to the Fremont factory. There's a bunch of them there just because of employees park their cars in the parking spots right next to the supercharger, so you can really like look across a few rows and see all of them there. So you can see what they look like in person. But I'm sure they'll have some of them in the showrooms in the next few months and they start to ramp up their production. Ulysses in the chat room says, I need a Model 3. I drive 200 miles per day. I'm really excited about the Model 3. Me too. It is going to change the world. I believe it's an iPhone of the car and energy industry, and I've made a video about it. Check it out. I really think that's a breakthrough car. Despite of the production problems they're having, once they fix it, which is only in a couple of months probably anyway, this is going to be the beginning of a big revolution. Now, T-Coley100 says, I like the Lucid Air design, but Tesla is my favorite. I've already read that one as well. I need to start scrolling. Sorry if I missed some of you guys' comments here. It's just the chat is kind of going faster than I can read it. Tobias Ender says, people don't like battery swapping. The company A Better Place struggled with that idea. I don't know why, man. I know they don't like it. Obviously, Tesla wouldn't have killed it otherwise. Cinema Writer in the chat room right before that says, I hate battery swapping for so many reasons. If you don't mind, Cinema Writer, and tell me why you don't like it, because I love it. I mean, you just drive up, boom, 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 swap, and switcheroonie happens within like 30 seconds, and you're on your way. I know you don't own the battery, but the thing is, you know, that's not an uncommon practice in Europe, which I think we might want to think about, leasing your battery. You know, why does it have to be part of your car? A lot of us lease cars or buy cars and then sell them. Why not do this with a battery? But Cinema Writer, go ahead and put it in the chat so I can understand why, or in the comments if you're watching in the replay at some point, let me know why you don't like that. Let's see, Freezy EV in the chat says, Tesla Roadster must have more than 1 gear to achieve the 250 plus top speed. They haven't mentioned that yet. I don't think they would because there's no transmission. I don't know much about the really speedy cars to understand how that works, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's one of other breakthrough technologies they've achieved. But an interesting point. I'll keep my eye on it. Let's see. Corey Goodwin in the chat room says solar products has doubled every other year for the last 20 years. The world is 1% solar power. That's only 7 more doublings to till 100% or 14 years. Yes, I understand your math, but you're assuming that it will double every year. Right now it doubles because there is just not that many, right? If there was one house with a solar roof or solar panels in 1990s and somebody next year did it themselves as well, well, they just doubled it, right? Once you really scale it, once it's in a mass production, at some point it really is hard to double anything really per each year. And again, you can double it only in areas that are ready for it. If there is not electricity to run people's stoves where they cook their food, there's definitely not enough electricity to power their cars. And if people don't have money to buy solar panels, then they won't have solar panels. And that's what I'm saying. If you're talking about like maybe Europe, China, and America, okay, you might have a point. I would say 14 years is still pretty optimistic, but I can see how it can happen. But I'm telling you, if you're talking about the world, you're talking about third world countries, I don't know. I think it's going to be a tough sell. I understand your math. I just think the reality will run that math into the ditch. Kevin Smith, okay, well, you're talking to somebody else. Kug Arpa, I gotta learn how to pronounce your name. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. I know you're in the chat a lot, and I really appreciate it. Why did you reserve 10 Model 3 cars? Well, I reserved 10 Model 3 cars for a few reasons. Because first, I thought maybe I wanted to start my own sort of a Uber service, and I thought that would be a great car to do it with. Here in Santa Clara, we have amazing electricity rates. It's better than anywhere in the Bay Area because we have our own utility company here. The rest of the Bay Area has a PG&E. So I thought if I stay here, I can compete on electricity prices, or I can install the solar roof or a battery pack, so I can really run a very well-oiled machine with maybe like 10 car fleet. Another reason I wanted to do it is because I know a lot of my friends and family will probably want one, and because they're not Tesla owners currently, they would have to wait an extra year. So I just wanted to do it for them, for my parents, maybe for my other friends and family. So I just said, why? I mean, it's only $1,000 per reservation. So that's why I did it. And they said, okay, and then they took it away. One of quite a few things that I'm unhappy with. People think that I'm a Tesla fanboy. I have quite a few problems with Tesla. One of them was that don't take $8,000 of my money, tell me that I'll have something for it, and then give it back to me interest free in another 1 or 2 months. Okay. And by the way, I also don't like the idea that the people who canceling reservations, and again, this might be a rumor, Tesla is not in the rush to give their money back to them as well. I've heard it sometimes takes a month or two. I hope it's not true, but if it's true, shame on Tesla for doing that. That as soon as you cancel your reservation, especially because you did it by credit card, that should be given to you pretty much within 24 hours. There's just no reason not to. And by the way, anybody who paid with a credit card, what I think most people have, can submit a chargeback that will make it into their bank account much faster than a refund, and you never want to do that. That's just bad business. I hope it's not true. I just heard a rumor. I know I don't want to spread rumors, but if it's true, shame on them. Freezy EV says, should we call the Tesla Roadster as it will roast all the other hyper fossil cars? Call it what you will. Obviously, I mean, I don't know I guess you can call it a supercar. I think just having the word Tesla in front of anything gives it completely different meaning. Okay. So if they start making Tesla vacuum cleaners, that would be a completely different level of a vacuum cleaner, obviously, as long as you put the word Tesla in front of it. So I think that's perfectly fine. Let me just change the slide just so you guys are not bored with the graphics. That slide I made at the lake here when we were doing our calendar photo shoot. Those videos are in its own section on my channel. Check them out if you just want to see some cool fashion models modeling the Model 3s and Model X's and S's and Roadster in really amazing green locations here in California. Greg says, still could use 2 tickets to the CES show if you can help. Must get from someone in business, not in. I have a press passes, so they're not the same. As a matter of fact, I'll be there for the 2 days prior because the media days start before the actual convention, the show starts. And then I'm only going to stay for 1 or 2 days for the show because that's really mainly for the consumers. So my schedule is different and the press passes are very different from the passes. I don't know how much they cost and if they're sold out. Let me know if they've sold out. I don't think they have, and I also don't know how much it costs to actually have a pass for as a regular consumer. Let me know, but I'm sure Craigslist will have it if they're sold out. Let's see. Dino Ray in the chat room says, I didn't understand what technology your musician friend doesn't want to abandon. I'm sorry. He's not saying, oh, the technology of a flip phone. He has a flip phone. I just told a story about my friend who has a flip phone and he doesn't want to upgrade to the smartphone. His thing is this. He does not want to be bothered by everything that's going to come down on him if he gets a smartphone. Right now, if you want to find him, you can text him, and if you can also call him. And because I know he has a smart flip phone, I don't expect an immediate reply, right? So the expectations of contacting him are low, and I can only contact him by text or phone. All right, and that's the way he just wants it. If he gets a smartphone, besides the fact that he has to learn all the new technology and spend more money, the expectations of him being able to first download all the apps and get on all kinds of social media, he probably doesn't want to get on, but he's already on Facebook and he's already, I believe, on maybe Instagram. So the pressure would be to answer those messages, to start checking his feed. The people will, get annoyed with him not liking their pictures because they know it's a drop. I mean, it's a world of a lot of communication, and if he doesn't want to have all of that kind of come down on him, he checks his Facebook once a day, and that's where he wants to dedicate his time to Facebook, just 10 minutes a day, whatever. And that's why he doesn't want to move away from his flip phone. And this is just, we were talking about truckers not wanting to embrace new technology. I don't blame them. Listen, you have to learn a lot of stuff and you have to change your ways. Just because it's better doesn't mean it's better. Isunisen, sorry, I can pronounce your name correctly probably. In the chat says, will Tesla Semi come with a bed so trucker can sleep? No, it does not come with a sleeper right now. I'm sure it's going to be an option in the future, but right now it does not. I mean, they're just trying to get as big of a chunk of the market as possible right now, and I don't think like super long distance trucks is something that they are trying to appeal to, at least right now, but I'm sure it's coming. Let's see. Echo Kids in the chat room says your configuration will be in the next few weeks for Model 3. Probably it will be, just like I said. I will decline it for now. I'll just keep my place in line whenever I'm ready to buy it. Let's see. And once again, I've lost my chat. You guys are asking me questions faster than I can actually answer them. Let's see. Cinema Writer says, Alex, you complain about Tesla infrastructure. You could never live with a Jag in California. In Norway or UK, where we have other charging stations, but California sucks for non-Tesla charging. You are absolutely 100% correct, but I charge my Tesla at home 99.9% of the time, and it's changing now, but at least earlier this year and the previous year there were so many lines at the superchargers that I would end up getting a gas car. As much as I hate admitting to it, I ended up getting a gas car so I can go long distance, because charging already takes a while, and plus the lines on some of them just made it impossible for me to make sense of it. I literally ended up just paying money for a rental car. I know it's changing, but again, I charge at home most of the time. And don't forget, we're still going to keep one Tesla, and if a second car that we're going to buy is a Jag I-Pace, and again, I'm going to put the picture up because I love the way it looks, especially in red, then that car will most likely going to be a commute car for my girlfriend to her work, or also for us to go around. If we need to take a car long distance, we'll take the Tesla. So I don't think I will hate it as much as you think I will, but you're right about the infrastructure right now. It's only for Teslas. If you own a non-Tesla car, long distance travel right now is not almost an option, or it's very difficult and time consuming. Freezy EV says the problem with battery swapping is that you might get a degraded battery when you swap batteries. Well, this is where leasing companies need to come in. I think that Tesla either needs to jump into the battery leasing business or get a third party where the battery is not yours anyway, and the quality of the battery you get has to be guaranteed. So for example, if I'm paying $5 for the battery swap, right? So I'm going to get a new battery to drive in the next 300 miles. That has to guarantee me certain battery, a certain rated range of that battery. Now maybe there will be an option for the the batteries that have a lesser capacity because they've been used so much, and you'll pay a lower rate for a smaller range. But I'm sure leasing companies can figure it out, like in Europe, where you get a new battery that you're leasing for just one trip, and you pay a certain amount and a certain mileage is guaranteed to you. So I think that's easily solved with that very little trick. I don't want to say trick, that very little concept. John Wilson in the chat says, you may have to get your girlfriend on screen to help with reading the chat comments. I know I featured her in the end of my supercharger video that you can see as a main video right now, as a main trailer on my channel, because I think she done something really, really funny. You can just watch that part on my Instagram, which is instagram.com/e4electric. But I gotta tell you, there were also some inappropriate comments that I kind of removed that neither me nor her enjoyed. And also, we had some racially insensitive comments. She's black, I'm white, and so the world is not always ready for that. So I'm not really sure if I want to put her in that position to be part of the show yet. And at the same time, she has other things to do. Right now, she's in the gym and she's shopping while I'm doing my show. So I'm not really sure if she really wants to be involved. If anything, if she's going to be involved on YouTube or Instagram, I think she's going to do like a fashion or fitness channel, because she's into fitness. She competes in fitness competitions. So let's see. So yeah, but you're right, John Wilson. She does help me out once in a while, but I don't think I want to involve her just because of the comments that we get sometimes. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a comment about bikes, but it was about something different. But let me remind you guys, I'm going to do a show tomorrow to help you Cyber Monday shop for items that electric car owners like. I already have a video on my channel about just products that electric car owners enjoy. There's a link to Amazon, and disclaimer, I do make money from the affiliate program on Amazon, but there's a link in a description of this and every single video that I make to the Amazon products that I think electric car drivers will enjoy. Some of them is for your electric cars, and some of them, like, green electric lawnmowers. They're in there. Check it out. I'm sure that some of them are going to be on sale. I'm going to do that show tomorrow to help you shop on Cyber Monday. Cinema Writer in the chat says, a Tesla tried gears on the original Roadster and dropped it. Well, there's your answer, by the way. Someone was asking about multiple gears on the new Roadster. Alexandru Alex, love your name. Hello from Belgium. How are you? So many people watching from Europe. I appreciate it, guys. I am from Europe myself. I'm from Russia, so that's good to hear a lot of Europeans watching. And I know electric cars are, in some ways, are more advanced, that movement in Europe, than it is here. Dino in the chat says also, you should interview your superstar girlfriend. We did an interview with her as part of me interviewing Tesla owners, which I might put up later. But just like I said, I just don't want her on camera that much, as you guys enjoy watching her, just because of some comments that we get, and just the fact that she's, I don't really, she doesn't like being on camera. I have to say, whenever we're doing a videotaping in public, people always go like, wait a second, why are you on camera and she's behind the camera? It should be the other way around. I agree, but she's just not into electric cars as much as I am. But I'll tell you what I'm planning about this. So starting next year, I don't make that much money on this channel right now, but starting this year, I'm gonna give an opportunity, because people's been asking, how can I support you? How can, and I would like to at some point to make this as my full-time job. So what I'm gonna offer, and I don't want people just, I know there's Patreon and donations and stuff like that. As I appreciate people asking and offering it, I don't want to take donations and count on those donations to pay my rent for just nothing. Okay, this channel is free. I put no commercials in it. As you can see, there's never a pre-roll or whatever. I have a sponsor, which is great. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually add some value to my channel. There will be some of the behind the scenes footages. I'll probably have a quick overtime, maybe an extra story, maybe an extra tip for those of you guys watching. I'm going to put that content as an additional value content on Patreon starting next year. And for those of you guys who want to support me and my channel, and you give like a few bucks a month, you'll be able to pay that. I will provide extra content for you, and hopefully one day you will provide a living for me so I can do this full time. Because right now I have a full-time job and I spend almost all of my free time doing this. But imagine how much better this can be if I can do this full time. So I'm going to provide that option, but I want to make sure that I provide a value for those of you who will be contributing your hard-earning money. Let me know what you think about it, and let me know what kind of content you would want to see as premier content if you're willing to support a YouTuber like myself. Let's see. So that's a bit of a preview of what I'm thinking about the next year. Q-Tip Shark says, have people seen the Tesla taxi fleets in Dubai? I believe there's an Instagram just for that. I think it's called Tesla of Dubai or whatever, and they feature that there if you want to check them out. Let's see. Greg Shaw in the chat room says, when will the solar roofs be more available to get in the Great Lakes region? I gotta tell you, as part of the referral program prizes, they give you early access for your Tesla roof token. And I don't even know if that you can even get it right now yet. They've been kind of slow. As you know, there hasn't been that many news right now coming out of Tesla about their solar products, which is kind of a bummer. But I hope it's going to be something that that's going to be coming soon. All right. Freezy V says third world countries will adopt electric cars faster than you think. I have done the research and they are very respective to electric cars if they move to microgrids. Plenty of sun in Africa. I would love to agree with you. I would love for that. But I'm telling you, I know quite a few people who live in the third world countries, including some remote parts of Russia. And I'm telling you, their problem is that, one, they don't have money for cars. They don't have money for solar panels because it's an upfront investment. They just don't have money in general. But most importantly, they don't have electricity. Their infrastructure. So I understand about microgrids and everything, but don't forget, those countries are still struggling keeping the hot water going. Most of the time they have problems with turning their hot water for a day or two. And the same thing with electricity. They just don't have enough. So I'm telling you, that's got the infrastructure and the consumer power, the value of the consumers have to come first. Therefore, the electric car and green energy and solar energy technology cost has to come down when even those countries and people in those countries can still afford them. I hope I'm wrong and you're right. I really do, because that would be amazing. I would be the #1 person voting for yes, more green energy in all of the world. I just think you're being an optimist, which is a good thing. I'm being a pessimist. So I'm not arguing with you. I really hope I can agree. I just see some challenges that would be really hard to overcome, I think, in 14 years. Cinema Writer tells me, too long and a complex of an answer. Well, I'm trying to give as good answers as possible, and sometimes these issues are, complicated. So sorry, man. You're telling me to move on, but I want to talk about some stuff. Some people are really into this. Let's see. This is still about the third world countries. Rick in the chat room says, FYI, Western Union takes 7 days to return your money. This is why I don't use them, though I don't have a need for them. But I think when somebody asks for a refund, they need to get a refund right away. Unless you're returning merchandise, but in case if it's a reservation, it's just cash that you put down, that should be returned immediately. I think it's just good business. Alan Helton in the chat room says battery swapping would require pre-staging of billions and billions of dollars worth of batteries, simply not practical. I hear you. And I'm not saying it should be like widely spread, but I think this is something that, and don't forget, there are other companies that are making batteries, just batteries. I believe LG and Toshiba, I might be wrong about Toshiba, but for sure LG, they are now going to be producing, and they're working on batteries simply for the cars. So, and again, this is not something I just thought of. This is something that exists in Europe. But you're right, there'll have to be an inventory, though I think there's a good way how you can turn it around, right? Because let's see if let's say you have a swapping a station for Tesla, okay? Let's say it's for the Model S or Model X, and let's say the rate of people coming in at that charging station is 20 cars per hour, okay? And if it takes an hour to charge a battery, then it means you really only need to have 20, well, maybe 25 batteries in stock, because as a battery gets returned, and you install a new battery in the car, you can start charging that battery right away, right? And in an hour, you have a battery that's ready to go. So if you're taking care of 20 cars per hour, which is actually a lot, you know, for most of superchargers, even at peak times, you only need to stack about 20 batteries. And again, people will pay for it. So I don't think it's that unrealistic. And again, it can start slow. I'm just surprised it just died after one station opened up. And it was a Harrison Range. Though I have to say that I've been there twice while that was open, and I did not use it, so guilty. But I didn't use it because I wasn't sure I was coming back on a Freeway 5. If it was a leased battery, then I was going to drop it off somewhere else, and I don't have to stop by in the same location and get my battery back. I would be much more inclined to use it. I actually would love that. Cinema Writer says solar energy is simpler in an African village. It is, except for who's going to pay for it. That's my whole thing. Yeah, I'm sure it would be great. Just like in Puerto Rico, it's great. But who's paying for it? Tesla right now donating them, right? But the problem is money, upfront money for solar energy. Isunison in a chat room says, new roadster is not a roadster though. Roadsters have only 2 seats. You know, I'm not sure if that's what defines a roadster. I think it's more of a performance thing. But I gotta tell you, I mean, Tesla can claim 4 seats all you want, but unless you're like 4.5 feet a person, I don't think it's going to be really that useful. I think people will literally use it to store their luggage or purses or whatever. I mean, I've seen the damn thing in person myself, and I know you guys seen enough videos that it's just not enough space for 2 extra people. They can claim it all they want. We'll see. Maybe they'll do some different configuration on this, but I doubt it. Though again, I'm not really sure if 2 seats is what defines a roadster, but I could be wrong. Q-Tip Shark says all vehicles that use diesel and do many miles should really think about going to electric in the future. It's for the best. I don't think people who run diesel trucks, the companies or individual truckers, care about environment as much as they care about their paycheck and the bottom line for their business. And I totally understand them. You know, this truck has to make sense for the people who are going to be using it for their business. So I think that's really, really important. I think Tesla done a great job producing a truck that will make sense for trucking companies. But I can blame those truckers who will be concerned more about putting their, you know, bread and meals on their tables and paying rent over the overall green energy costs. You know, it is about business. Once Tesla went to the industrial route, it is all about business, not the looks, not the excitement, all about the bottom line, which in that industry seems to be how much you spend per mile. And they're kicking ass there. Let's see. Alan Helton in the chat room says, unless Tesla retained ownership of all batteries, I would be reluctant to trade my battery for one that may be defective. Who would bear the risk of loss when a battery needed to be recycled? Yes, so it would either be, in my world, in my idea, and I think that's how it works in Europe, it is the leasing company, whether it's going to be Tesla and another leasing company, that will take care of the batteries. So whatever battery that you get would be the battery that you would use for the next 300 miles, and then you get a newer battery. Those battery integrity would have to be guaranteed by the leasing companies, and I'm sure they have a lower tier pricing for the batteries that don't have as much energy and maybe not as reliable. People who want to, you know, save some money can use those batteries. But yeah, that company would maintain, and it would be a reputable company, hopefully Tesla certified or Tesla itself, that will keep track in the maintenance of those batteries and guarantee its performance. It's been done. It's being done right now in Europe. I don't see how this is any different. Same thing with renting cars, right? They maintain the cars, they clean them, they maintain their mechanical condition, they maintain their exterior and interior. So yeah, that makes sense. Well, same thing will work for batteries, and I think that will be just fine. John Wilson, you guys are still talking about having my girlfriend on my channel. Jesus Christ. I don't know if she's watching. She's in the gym right now. It's really up to her, but I think I'm going to save it for the sort of a behind the scenes stuff. Let's see. Predrag in the chat room says, in Serbia, we have Tesla mobile phone over 5 years now. I don't know what Tesla mobile phone is. I don't think Tesla, actually, I know Tesla doesn't make mobile phones. So you're going to have to, unless you mean an iPhone, you're going to have to tell me more about that. Let's see. Frosty Flake says in the chat room. Oh man, I was reading it and I lost it. All right, I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm going to Ticoli 100 says good decision, Alex. That is your thing. I'm assuming you're talking about, you know, featuring my girlfriend getting all the slack on the channel. You know, guys, I'm going to skip a few comments just because I'm so behind. EV Planet asks, how do you think the Semi would do in truck racing? I don't know. I'm sure there's a thing, but it will kick ass, dude. It will actually do well in regular racing. I think if, you know, the truck itself without the load will go 0 to 60 in like 6 seconds, I think, or 5 seconds, right? That is insane. That is faster than a lot of cars. So I think if you even soup it up or put some effort into it, put some ludicrous mode on it, it can kick some ass in regular racing. So yeah, absolutely. Let's see. Kirvan Yam in the chat room says, man, I was waiting for me to be my first Patreon. Guys, I appreciate, you have no idea how much I appreciate it. I just don't feel comfortable taking people's donations without providing extra value for you. And so once, you know, I'm almost done with streamlining this live feeds, and I have a few other projects, and, you know, I'm starting a blog as well. Once that's done, and then I'm going to do electronics show in consumer electronics show in Vegas. I'm going to produce extra content, which I will at least be comfortable taking extra money for because it's extra value. So I appreciate you guys offering it. And by the way, you can always super chat in the chat if you really want to support me, which I appreciate. I'm just about to buy some extra equipment on Cyber Monday for the live stream. You guys can always super chat here in the chat room. I think there's a $sign there. So thank you. But again, I will start Patreon in the near future. Let's see. Randall Hayes says, Elon talked of maintenance alerts from the truck before they are due for maintenance. Absolutely. That's got to be one of the things that is one of the biggest benefits of the technology. And us current Tesla owners have the benefit of it already. As a matter of fact, if something's wrong with your car, not only it gives you a message saying something's wrong with your car, and this is what we think it is, you can call a Tesla service. They will diagnose a lot of this stuff remotely. They'll get into the logs of your car, logs of your Model S or Model X, and they will send a mobile service. If you know 80% of the repairs they claim can be done remotely, they will send a remote mobile service to your office or home. You don't even have to come out. You can literally unlock your car from your app. They'll fix it and it will be done. So yes, absolutely. Diagnostics, remote diagnostics, and mobile service, that's what it's all about. And I think this is where Tesla also going to exceed everyone's expectations and beat their competition. And with trucks, it will be no different. Dina Ray in the chat room says the pace is gorgeous. Absolutely it is. It's an excuse for me to put that picture up again. Love that car, man. I really hope that they do a better job with their reliability. I had the Jaguars before. I had a Jaguar XF, and literally, you know how the saying goes: if you wanna own a Jag, you need to buy two. You need to keep one so you can drive one when the other one is in a shop. And it kind of was true in my case. I have to say, like, back in the day when I had it, was like 10 years ago. I went on a date in my Jag, and you know, Jag XF has one of those things that kind of come out from the switcher for your gears. It comes out from the flat surface, which is really cool. Well, I picked this girl up for a date, and the thing would not come out. So my date ended up in us waiting for a tow truck and having it towed, and her giving me a ride to a train station. That's how that date ended. We actually ended up dating for a few months after that, so it wasn't a deal breaker, but that was pretty embarrassing, and I've had other issues with the Jag. So I hope they do a better job, but I love that. I love the look of that car. Let's see. Dino says the Jaguar I-Pace looks like a very serious product design. Yes, I mean, I think they went with the design that they already kind of have similar in their lineup right now. Let's see if the technology is up to par. I like Jaguars, just like I said, except for that crappy, history of breaking down on me. But yeah, this is why I'm looking forward to that one. That's the only realistic car that I'm willing to consider next year when my Tesla lease expires. That is not a Tesla. DJ Arms 67 is asking in the chat room, is Tesla going to the home construction business? If not, they totally should. I guess they are, because, you know, they're basically now, if you order the solar roof, they will be installing your roof. They will take your roof off and they will put the brand new solar roof on it. So I guess they are part of the construction, and, you know, they will also install the solar batteries, and solar panels on your roof if you just want the regular panels that are done by Panasonic right now. And of course, they install the power packs and charging stations in your house. So yeah, they're not going to remodel a kitchen, at least for now, but they will change your roof. So I guess they are kind of in the construction business at this point. So I agree with you. Let's see, Nigel in the chat room, another regular here in the chat room and in the comment section. I appreciate it, man. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Wish I could get bits from my Zoe. I know how to pronounce that name now, Renault Zoe, but not enough made. English guy who does vlog has a Leaf on lease and had ordered Zoe, 3 months waiting for list for 41 kilowatt hour, I'm assuming, but now added another 3 months to his wait. I didn't know Zoe was on a back order like that in Europe, though I'm not surprised. A lot of people love that car there. It's kind of like almost #1 in Europe if you don't count Teslas. Like Renault Zoe is kicking ass there. I've seen only a couple here because we have a Nissan Research Center in their parking lot, has a couple of them, so I've seen them in person, but we don't have them here in America, which I think is a shame. I'm not really sure why not. Let's see. Donovan Small in the chat room says, don't be so sure about the third world countries not having money to buy Teslas. Well, yes, I know every country has rich people. As a matter of fact, in third world countries, rich people are much richer than people in the first world countries sometimes. I get that. But if, you know, if this was in the context of a discussion of the world being 100% on green energy. So yes, even though some people in third world countries are able to buy a Tesla, the infrastructure of the poor country, of the third world country, is not able to sustain it correctly. And the rest of the country is not able to afford neither the solar batteries, nor the electric cars, nor cars in general. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just because nobody can afford it, but if we're talking about everybody affording it, then they can't. And again, it's not always about affording it. It is about the infrastructure, and a lot of third world countries don't have the infrastructure. That's why they're called third world countries. So that's kind of part of the deal there. If you're a third world country, that means your infrastructure sucks, you know? Frosty Flake says, I'm sorry, you got the comments you did with your girlfriend, not good. You know, yeah, unfortunately, you know, I had another channel before that was about fashion, and we did this video about interracial relationship and interracial marriages. A lot of people don't know they were illegal actually until the late 60s in America, and we kind of did a video about that. And that video, I don't remove the racist comments because I guess I want people to see how far away we're still from sort of a colorblind world. You know, there was an article today about one of the oldest Barack Obama's daughter, Malia, I think her name is. Apparently she was photographed in her college. She's 19 now, kissing a white guy, and a lot of people got really upset about it. It's a whole different topic about the interracial relationship. So yeah, we really I just don't want those comments. I mean, I know I put myself out there, you know, I have a thick skin, so, you know, I have a lot of nasty comments when I get time to time, and that's fine. You know, I've opened myself up to the world, so I know there will be haters. And as a matter of fact, I know people say that if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right. So I'm open to it, but she's my girlfriend. She didn't really sign up for it. She allowed me to put that video out of her, and I thought it was funny. You can still see it on my channel. It's my trailer right now, but I don't want to expose her any more than she wants to this. I mean, I'm telling you guys, some of these comments are really personal and cruel, and I'm not really sure if she's really up for it. I'm not up for it, but I can take it, but I don't want to put her in that situation. But thank you so much for your sympathy. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Let me scroll down just a little bit. Hi from San Diego, says George Miska. How you doing, George? I haven't seen you here in a while, actually. Thank you so much. You know, you're one of my regulars as well. Thank you. Thank you for being part of this community. Like your contribution about, you know, quite a few of you guys at this point are just are just amazing. Thank you so much for just contributing and hanging out with me, guys. This is, I haven't even had breakfast. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning, at 1 p.m. here. I haven't even had breakfast. I'm having such a good time talking to you guys. So thank you. Thank you for hanging out with me. Isunisen, I cannot pronounce your name correctly. Sorry, man. I'm really sorry about that. The world was 100 renewable like 3 centuries ago. You're right. We were all green energy 3 centuries ago, and then we screwed it up. You're right. Greg Shaw says you're doing fine. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. But I have to say, if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't have these videos, because these videos are heavily based on your participation and your comments. If you're watching in the replay, I welcome those comments and I always try to reply. Don't forget, if I put a heart on a reply in a comment section, doesn't mean that I agree with you. I just love the fact that you're participating. So I've had a few of those people saying that, well, why would you agree to this comment? You put a heart on it. I love participation, guys. I include everybody as long as you're being respectful. I respect and welcome all opinions here. And that's what the video was all about yesterday with Stavros. And we got a lot of comments and I appreciate all of them, good or bad. Donovan Small says, stop saying that about third world countries. But what am I saying that's wrong? I mean, I'm telling you, the definition of a third world country is one of the things is lack of infrastructure. I don't know why I'm being blamed for literally using a definition of a third world country is. And tell me, I mean, I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. How many times I said something, you guys said, Alex, I think you're wrong on that. I said, hey, listen, you're right. I stand corrected. Thank you so much for correcting me. But go ahead and correct me. Where am I going wrong? Third world country, in my understanding of a definition, is a country that doesn't have an infrastructure, and it has a low income class is a majority. I think that's the definition is. So when you're telling me about selling electric cars to a country that has a really poor infrastructure for electricity, that's not able to support sometimes the lights in their houses and ovens to make their meals at, I'm not really sure how we can talk about solar panels that are heavy investment up front, or the green energy where people have to pay for it, or electric cars that are pretty expensive still. I'm not trying to get anybody upset. I consider myself from a third world country as well. When I left Russia, it was in a pretty bad shape. So I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I'm telling you, and if somebody who's a fan of a green energy, I wish there will be a way for the entire world to convert to green energy in 14 years. I just don't think it's realistic. I'm just being realistic. If you guys are optimists, I think the world runs on your optimism. And I appreciate that. But I'm just trying to work the numbers here. So I don't mean to offend anybody, but you guys correct me if I'm wrong. But until you do, I'm kind of going to have the stand about the third world countries. Sorry. Nigel in the chat room says battery swap for trucks. Yes, but controlled by lease or companies. Absolutely 100% agree. Donovan Small in the chat room says Mercedes sells a lot of third world, and a lot of third worlds are mostly use solar in their homes, and if they can use EV and not gas diesel, they will buy it. I understand that, but the original comment was about 100%, and I just don't see 100% being there in the third world countries. And don't forget, you guys are jumping on part of my statement. I don't think America is going to be 100% in 14 years, because we got our own problems here, not because we also have poor people here and in some parts of poor infrastructure. Puerto Rico is part of the United States, and the infrastructure there, as you can see, needs rebuilding. But we also have a pretty heavy, top of the line lobby for the oil companies. We have our own problems. So I think there are quite a few ways how we're not going to be able to be 100% green energy in 14 years. But okay, can we get off that topic at this point, guys? Again, unless you want to prove me wrong, I'm just going to stick with this for now, because I think I'm just literally quoting facts and definitions from the dictionary here. Coog asks a really good question. Are there any women in your audience? Very few, I'll tell you. My statistics, when I look at my statistics, YouTube breaks it down by gender. 95% of my audience are male, which I think is a shame. Don't get me wrong, guys. I appreciate every single one of you watching me and participating in the community. But I don't understand. Women are not into cars in general. I understand. But I really think that the green energy and electric cars could appeal more to women, just because it's also about the future and the future of the children. We've talked about this before, and I know a lot of women will put a comment in saying, I'm a woman and I love Tesla, or I love the green energy, and kudos to you guys. You're 5% of my audience. I don't know why it is. I'm just giving you facts. 95% men, 5% women watching my videos. I don't know if I don't do my hair right. I don't know if my shirts are not up to date, but they're just not interested, at least for now. I hope that would change. If you guys have ideas, and if you maybe a woman who is watching this, let me know if you have an idea why not as many women are interested in this sort of revolution, as I call it. Why not as many women are enthusiasts, as I call us? Oh my God, my very first super chat, and it's a huge one. George, thank you so much. $30 super chat. It will go towards my equipment. I'm actually going to buy equipment to stream. Right now I'm streaming from a webcam. I'm actually going to try to stream from my, I thought I had my camera here, but from my Sony camera, so the picture is a little bit more clear. Oh my God, another super chat. I cannot believe this. You guys are too generous. FB Diesel, thank you so much, guys. You have no idea. I've never had a super chats before, so this is so exciting. Again, thank you. You're literally donating to a better quality of my videos. The next equipment I'm buying is for the better quality of the picture of me, because the background and the graphics here are already high def, but my camera is only 1080, and so I'm going to try to run it off of my Sony camera. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. And again, in January, I will be adding extra content to my videos. So if you want to donate, you will actually get extra content for that. So thank you so much, both of you guys. George says, as part of his donation, says, love your channel. Great job. Thank you. You have been a big part of my videos. Oh my, another super chat, guys. Now you're just showering me in this. I'm just speechless, guys. I mean, this is really just going to buy me a new HDMI stick for my camera. Thank you. Wow, I'm a little bit taken back, guys. I really have to say. FB Diesel says, and he's the one who donated also. T Coley 100 donated $25. You have also been a huge part of my community, live and in comments. And just like I said, you guys provide just as much content as I do, and participate in this discussion and add value for everybody else. So thank you. And FB Diesel, after his super chat, says, love is beautiful, bro. The haters, shh. I agree, you know, and again, don't forget that I'm subscribing to this concept of, if you don't have any haters, you're not doing it right. And whenever you're doing something that's on the cutting edge, pushing a new technology, pushing something that's good for people, but they don't know it yet, you know, this is where it's hard. You're gonna get a lot of haters, and that's fine, you know. Freezy EV is asking, are you and Ben Sullivan's now BFFs now, and are you going to the Tesla Con? Oh man. Okay, listen, I've met Ben at the event for a Tesla truck, for the Tesla unveil, and I have to say that before that, our personal communication wasn't best. I enjoyed meeting him. He did give me a quick interview, which I can't air because of the copyrighted music that was on the background, which has been an issue for like all of the YouTubers. Really, YouTube been cracking down on that a lot. You know, I've invited him on my show to promote his Tesla Con that he's doing, and he hasn't really replied. So we're in good terms, but I don't really know why hesitation to come on my show. I've done collaborations with almost every other YouTuber in this space. I've done it with Like Tesla with Kim. I've done it with Zach and Jesse of Now You Know. I did it with Patrick of Tesla Trip. I'm just about to do one with Cayman Auto. I just did one with Stavros of Stavros 969. I did one with, I think there are a couple of other ones. I've been featured on Electric. I've been featured on Tesla Ready. So I don't know why Ben doesn't really want to collab with me. But maybe this is, if you guys are fans, if you're part of his community, maybe this is something you can suggest. The only difference, the only thing I can tell you guys is maybe the difference in subscribers, because I'm an up and coming YouTuber. I don't even have 10,000 subscribers yet. He is one of the biggest YouTubers in a space with over 50,000 subscribers at this point. So that may be the only one thing. I do believe that I can contribute to his community as well, but that's not up to me. We're not BFFs, but I already told you guys, anybody who is part of this community, of electric car community that's pushing it forward, and which Ben is, I'm going to support whether I like him or not personally. And I don't dislike him personally. Oh my God, guys, are these all super chats? You guys gotta be crazy. Oh my God, another. This is now my biggest super chat from Kirvan Yam. Thank you so much. $50, are you crazy, guys? I am so humbled by this. You guys are crazy. FB Diesel, $25. Oh my, guys, you literally just bought me a brand new HDMI stick and a cable for my Sony camera, so which I'm going to be getting hopefully in a week. I have all kinds of new equipment too. Like I just improved my sound, I don't know if you noticed. So I have this whole thing going on with the sound, so it sounds better. Spent a lot of money on that. I was thinking about the brand new camera, 4K camera, but I'm gonna opt out for now out of that. But thank you so much for the super chats. Estvan says with his super chat, I love your live stream. I am preparing questions about lease and buy topics. I will send it to you next week. Please do, because I wanted to make another Q&A video because I got a lot of comments when I mentioned buy versus lease for Teslas and electric cars. I already have a video on my channel, buy versus leasing, and I'm gonna do just somehow, you guys, it's just math, and I'm telling you, if you're buying a brand new car and you probably want to get rid of it in the next 3 or 4 years, leasing makes more sense. So I'm going to make a separate video about it. If you have questions, please email it to me, alex@e4electric.com. You can also find me on Facebook through facebook.com/e4electric. Oh my God, more super chats. Guys, are you kidding me? This is amazing. Cinema Rider, 26 pounds. I don't know how much it's in dollars, but I appreciate it. I'm sure it's more actually. Oh no, it's a little bit less, right? Because pounds are a little bit more expensive, I guess. Rick, thank you so much. 25 more dollars. Guys, you are killing me. This is amazing. How is this happening to me? I'm just, oh guys, thank you so much. Kirvan Yam says, I look at your videos every day. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I hope I'm bringing value. I hope I'm bringing service to you guys, just because there are so many different news coming out, and I'm trying to find what is the most important news and what does those news mean as far as analyzing them for the either brand or for the electric car community. So I've been really educating myself about this, and you guys are a big part of it, because a lot of times when I don't either know the answer, or maybe I go a little bit in the wrong direction as far as facts are concerned, you guys are there to jump in and correct me, and I always like to stand corrected, and I always learn based on that. All right, guys, you guys are just killing me with kindness here. I don't even know what to say, but thank you to all of you who are contributing right now. I feel like I'm in the middle of the money raising marathon, but maybe I should open my Patreon page sooner rather than later. I feel weird taking the money like this without adding anything more to you guys. Let me know if you want me to open up the Patreon page sooner rather than later. I was planning on doing it actually next year. All right, let me catch up. Cinema Writer says, Kim from Like Tesla. Yes, that's the channel I featured one, I collabed with her. Coog says, maybe your girlfriend can help attract more women to your channel. Hopefully, but just like I said, I'm just not that comfortable putting her on like this. John Wilson in the chat says, guys, well, why does Tesla Semi have suicide doors, bend hitch doors? I think that's how, I don't know the answer. This is where you guys jump in. If you guys know, especially if you're part of a trucking industry, maybe we should ask Stavros about this. Why did they make the suicide doors for the truck? I can only assume that it's easier to get in and get out of the truck that way, and maybe safer. That's going to be my uneducated guess. Freezy EV in the chat room says, Africa has the highest adoption of mobile phones and mobile payments. They skip the dial-up, hence why I believe the third world countries like Nigeria will skip the grid and go to the microgrids. I hope so. Guys, I'm rooting for it. I'm just saying that I think it might be a bit harder than you think, and may not be 14 years. If I am wrong, I would love to be wrong about it, but a good point. Countries who maybe haven't been addicted to oil yet can probably make a better transition, because there won't be a transition. It's more of an adoption of the green energy. So I can see that point. You are correct there. Frosty Flake says, you're right on the third world. Even China has major financial issues now that are snowballing on large scale. True, but China has specifically been very clear, and they put their money where their mouth is, that they are going to go forward and be the leader in the green energy, and they're investing like crazy. And you know, Tesla's selling a lot of cars there because they can't breathe at this point. Some of the major cities in China, people can't breathe. So I understand it is a need really at that point. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through all the super chats. Once again, guys, I am just amazed by this. Thank you. Cinema Writer says, watch Vlog Living Life, Fyodor and Victoria interracial American-Russian relationship. Actually, you know, I will. I didn't know that. If you can do me a favor, if you can email me, alex@e4electric.com. If you don't mind emailing me that channel, I'm actually interested to check that out. Cinema Writer says, I never saw your video about interracial relationships. The world has moved on. People should do so. It's on my other channel that I kind of abandoned. It was about men's fashion and lifestyle, so it's there. Again, you will see some comments there are not really acceptable. And you know, sometimes we walk down the street with my girlfriend and we still get either looks or even comments sometimes. I'm telling you, the interracial dating, even here in Silicon Valley, with all of these different races and ethnic groups, even now, it's not as colorblind as you guys think it would be at this point. Nigel in the chat says, love the Jag, but the price. UK just announced 600 million pounds from government to help switch. No African country have that money to do so. That's correct. You know, I think the Jag, and of course I'm gonna, oh, I had the Jag up all this time. Okay. The Jag definitely, I think it's gonna be in the 70s or 80s. So it's gonna be comparable to the Tesla Model S and Tesla Model X. So I think it won't be cheaper, but it will be comparable. And so will the Porsche Motion E, but I'm just not a big on Porsches. I like Jaguars, and I like the way it looks. Frosty Flake says, if Tesla solar roof switches to new perovskite hybrid silicon solar cells, cost may drop and efficiency up. Still in mid-development. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of exciting things going on in just solar energy. There are a lot of technologies that are developing really quick. Batteries, solar panels. So what we're talking about right now is going to be ancient history in like 2 years, and advances are going to be really, really quick, which is amazing. Let's see. I'm just kind of scrolling down. Alex, I'm very proud of you, buddy, says Cook. Thank you so much. Cinema Writer writes $30. I'm not really sure about how super chats work though. It would be great, huh? Kirvan says, go with Patreon. You know what? Maybe I will. Let me see if this is something that's easily done, but I will need to produce more content for you guys, which right now I'm spending on upgrading my equipment and streamlining the live streams, and then I will spend on going to Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronic Convention. But I'm gonna get it done, trust me. At the latest, it's all going to be mid-January when I'll create my Patreon page. Let's see. Mr. Carrico 3, I should know how to pronounce your name by now. You've been a regular, and I appreciate it. Told you about 1 hour ago, your fan base is growing, E4 Electric. I know it is, and I really don't. Yeah, this community has been amazing to me, I have to say, and to each other. You guys are just rock. FB Diesel says, Patreon, please, bro. All right, guys, let me look into this. I haven't even created the page, but I'll look into this and I will put it up and we'll see what happens, okay? I'm going to look, as my to-do list, I'm going to put it up right now, my to-do list. Create a Patreon page. Create a Patreon page. There. Done. You guys have convinced me with your super chats and with your love. Really, I still blushing. Am I blushing? Yeah, this is amazing, guys. Thank you so much. Patreon, please. Yes, open Patreon page soon. All right, I will do it, guys. I will do it. Give me like 3 or 4 days. Right now, I'm working on creating a blog page, but I will do a Patreon page as well. Let's see. Cinema Rider says buy a Panasonic AG UX 180. You know, I like my camera right now. It's Sony and it's HD, and I don't do as many outside reporting anymore. So I have a hard time investing $1,000 into a camera that I won't use as much. And my current camera is kind of good. I really like it. Let's see. Cinema Writer says, when you think of solar, you think of massive arrays. They don't need that. True. It could be done on an individual basis. Nigel in the chat room says, if solid state batteries work, could this have negative effect on other battery production? Yeah, listen, this is going to be a new version of batteries, and lithium ions will start, batteries will start going away. And that's just how this technology works, you know, and we should expect that a lot of, and we've seen this with Teslas already, that, you know, a Tesla from 3 years has a lot of outdated technology because the Tesla they produce right now, except for autopilot, because of the technology that Tesla has right now has made so many advances. So yeah, it's going to be consistently outdating itself because we are on the verge of this revolution. This is moving really fast, like Silicon Valley and the computers and internet 20 years ago. And then it will slow down, which is, I think, is pretty natural. Nigel in chat room says, no Tesla infrastructure for the Jag. That's correct. But there will be more and more infrastructure in America. There's more in Europe right now, but in America, with just independent charging networks like ChargePoint and EVgo and Blink, they will get their stuff together and they will get better and they will have level 3 charging. EVgo has a level 3 charging now, but they are not as common. Let's see. Nigel says a third world needs roads, food, and governance. That's right. Roads are kind of important for electric cars or any cars in general. Let's see. Cinema Writer says, when you think of, okay, I read that. Yeah, sweet. Let's see. Dino Ray says, John Lennon was just criticizing the hype around the Beatles and forgetting about Jesus. He said they were more famous, exaggerating, more famous, but not better. Interesting. To-do list, check out Renault recent video on their future. Very interesting. Nigel, if you have a specific video I think I should watch, if you don't mind, send me an email and I will definitely check it out. Alex@e4electric.com. Oh, I see. Cinema Writer says $30 is what 26 UK pounds are. Thank you so much for the conversion. I understand. Thank you again for all of the supercharged, guys. I'm literally like completely floored right now by your generosity and just knowing that you guys are here with me hanging out for over 2 hours. Okay, guys, we gotta get going. So let me catch up on the comments really quick because I am literally starving right now. You don't want me passing out live, right? Kirivan Yam says, ever since my wife Lexus ES got hit by a semi, she feels the Model S and the Model X is still too small. Will Tesla semi have auto brakes? She'd rather drive the Sienna, but she'd like the Model S. I'm sure they have auto braking as part of the autonomous driving. But at the same time, you guys, when it comes to safety, it's not about the size. If you drive one of those old school humongous Cadillacs, they're big, but they will get you killed because they don't have that much safety technology. I believe one of the safer cars are like Mini Cooper or Chevy Bolt also. This is one of those times when size really does not matter. As a matter of fact, it's the technology about safety because there's so many different things, what the car's made out of, what the crumble zone technology is, what your airbag situation is, and what happens to the person when the car gets hit. And also don't forget, it's also about handling and the driving assistant features because this is what, you know, safety of the car is not just what happens when the accident happens, it also what happens to avoid the accident. So handling and driving assistance are all part of safety, and Tesla is on top of the world there. So I think your wife should reconsider and get yourself a Model X or Model S, one of the safest cars in the world with all of that technology on top of that. Let's see. Dino says the good thing is that you don't have to buy a new car. You update just the software. That's true. A lot of things that are being updated in our Teslas are over-the-air updates. So that's pretty cool. Rick in the chat room says, Alex, have you driven your Tesla on a dirt road before? If so, how did the car handle? I've driven it on a dirt road before when we did a lot of the videos for the calendar shoot, and I didn't drive it very fast because I didn't want to get stuck, you know. So I can't really tell you how it handled. I mean, it handled like a car in a muddy soil handles, but I drove it really carefully. I really don't have enough experience to speak of it. Let's see, Will Bradbury, welcome to the discussion. I don't think I've seen you participate before, so thank you. Will asks says if the Tesla truck, semi-truck, has 3 cameras on the left wing mirror and 3 on the right, why do you need to look out of the window? Sitting in the center is the future. That is correct, and this is, you know, this is something that people replied in my comments to Stavros, that all of this technology is going to eliminate the need of a lot of habits that that semi-truck drivers have. But on another hand, don't forget, habits are hard to break. You might have a better way of doing things, but because people have to switch their minds, switch their ways their brains operate after 30 years of doing things a certain way, that becomes a tough technology to switch to. I'm just saying, I gotta tell you, once in a while when I back up, I still do this, trying to look behind me when I have a camera in front of me. And I've been driving a Tesla for 5 years. Those habits are tough to break, man. Greg says, can't believe you've been with us for over 2 hours. Thank the girlfriend. Well, she's out right now shopping and in the gym. I'm not really sure if she's in chat room right now at all. I can't believe you guys have been with me for over 2 hours. I appreciate that. Coog says, how close do you think Tesla is right now to resolving the bottleneck for the Model 3? I'm going to assume that they're either very close or they're done with it, because they opened the reservations to the rest of us, to the non-Tesla employees. I'm going to assume that the major problems are behind them, and it's all about ramping up the production. Remember, there was only a few minor things that they really needed to get done with automation, but the rest of the car making process was already able to make 1,000 parts per week, right? So that's what they said even a couple of months ago. So I think they're very close. I don't think it's going to be a problem in a couple of months. That's what I think. We won't know until we'll see the numbers climb up. We won't know until we hear from people who are getting their cars delivered. We won't know until we get the VIN numbers with in 2-3 thousands. But I think it's happening very soon. I think they're almost done with it. Let's see. Cinema Writer says, if you buy a new Nissan Leaf in the USA, EVgo will give you 2 years free charging. That is correct, and that's the only network that really has a true level 3 charging. That's like they're really trying. Tesla P85D says, supercharge not available in my district. I don't know why. I think if you're watching this on the phone, I think you have more limitations than if you're watching it on a laptop. I appreciate the thought though. You might want to email YouTube or maybe Google this. I don't know, because I don't know if you're using what kind of device you're using and why this is happening. Nigel says the crash test of car is removing energy from around the passengers and absorbing. Most pickup trucks have poor safety ratings despite the size. Passengers die because vehicle does not absorb energy. Absolutely correct. My girlfriend says, yes, I'm in the chat. Watching while in the gym, leg day. It's leg day for her, so she is in the chat, guys. Did you see, honey? Did you see all the super chats I'm getting? All of this stuff, all of the equipment I can now afford. This is great, and it looks like I'm going to be opening a Patreon page like in the next few days. So I appreciate, guys. Again, very humbled. Nigel in the chat room says, have there been any problems with the Model 3? Saw picture of poor panel separation. You know what? I looked. I looked at the Model 3. Where did I look at it? Oh, yes. I looked at the Model 3 that was a floor model at the Tesla semi-truck event. And I took a picture of the panels misaligned a little bit. Listen, they're being put together right now by hands, or at least were when those cars were made. This was the same problem with Model S, same problem with the Model X. They will fix it. The misalignments are so tiny that you really have to look for them to see them, and they really have no effect on the car itself. So just bear with them on this one. That's just how it goes. The first car is going to have a little bit of misalignment. You can always bring it back to the service centers. They'll fix it if you care, but they will start producing them in a better quality once the production ramps up. T-Coley 100 says, inevitably people are resistant to change. Absolutely 100% true. The life of fossil fueled vehicles are definitely on the clock. It won't be overnight, but the old time is coming to an end at some point in the future. I couldn't have said it better. I have nothing to add to this. Absolutely 100% true. Dino says in the chat room in all caps, I don't know if I should read it out by yelling, but he says, you are an accomplished entrepreneur, entertainer, and a very humble and charismatic, my friend. Congratulations. You are making me blush, Dino. I appreciate it. I just am trying to provide a service for you guys by kind of keeping everybody up to date on what's going on, keeping the community talking, and also kind of analyzing what does it really mean moving forward for all of us, or for particular, drivers of particular cars. So, and it's been exciting, guys. I just love doing that. So, but thank you, really, sincerely. My girlfriend says, yes, I've seen the super chats. Such generosity, love it. Keep up the great content, sweetheart. All right, I'm having a leg day myself because my legs are getting weak from all this love. All right, Kirvan Yam, one of the super chat people who donated super chat says, my brother-in-law company are thinking of investing in a Tesla Semi. He's also a truck driver. Can't wait to get in one of and when they started. I think you're using the right word, investing. You buy a Model S or Model X or Model 3, but you invest into a semi-truck. And I think this is why they made it very clear that this is going to be an investment worth having, good for the bottom line of the businesses who rely on it. So kudos to you for phrasing it 100% correctly. Rick says, wow, iPad does work in a live chat. Great. Yeah, so you can watch this on with your iPad. Captain Coffee, this is, I think, your first chat. So welcome. Alex, thanks for sharing the experience with your girlfriend. As a black man, I think you are awesome. Thank you so much. It has been a journey, definitely. This is my 7th year with my girlfriend. And yeah, it's been tough, though. We did get some love from some people as well. Some people, I think, admire interracial relationships. So it's been some life as well. T-Coley 100 correctly points out she's a great partner, Alex, so supportive. I feel like we're in a couples counseling right now with this. Nigel says, are you standing or sitting? I am sitting. As you can see, my chair behind me, right here, right? So I am sitting, otherwise I would probably be passed out on the floor. I haven't eaten today at all, and it's 1:20 p.m. here. All right. Kudos to Mrs. Miska from my girlfriend. Let's see. Nigel in the chat room says, I am annoyed about saying Tesla running at loss. They're not. This is a paper loss. I mean, it depends how you look at it. But, a company that's losing money and company that's not making money or losing money to the investing into their future is different. I already gave an example of Amazon. Amazon was losing money for 10 years because they were investing into the warehouses, into inventory, into software, into services they're providing, into employees they're hiring. And look where they're at now. They're like killing everybody. They're killing all these huge giants like Walmart and putting people like Sears out of business because they've invested. And this is exactly the route Tesla is going. So yeah, they're technically losing money as designed. And I'm okay for that. Let's see. Donovan Small says 25 years with my Swedish wife and 2 kids. Congratulations. Relationships are work. Let's see. Cinema Writer says 2025 in the year EVs become cheaper than ICE cars. I think it might happen sooner than that. Actually, if you look at overall payment that you make for your car, like maintenance, fuel, whether it's gas or electricity, and the car itself, I think we're very close. So I don't think we have to wait for 2025. Let's see. Greg says, flipping love is blind. That's a good thing. Absolutely agree. Donovan in the chat room says mixed marriages are the best. I don't know if they're the best, but they're as good. Your marriage is as good as you make it, right? No marriage is better than the other. I think it's just whether or not you make it work. Nigel in the chat room says cars making money investing in infrastructure. Yes. And in energy products, DeLeorn Thompson asks, what do you mean as a black man you think he's awesome? Are you saying that we are now? See, you started the war now. Okay, I'm gonna stay out of this, guys. I'm staying out of this. You know, I don't even know where why we went that route. Okay, no more relationships conversations. Let's see. Nigel, I love the blonde out of ABBA. Okay, now you're gonna tell me I love ABBA, guys. I mean, I think Europeans in at least my age group love ABBA. So I just saw that, and yeah, one of the best bands, I think. I still listen to them. There was a musical called Mamma Mia here in the United States that have done well, so that was pretty cool. T-Coley100 correctly points out in a live chat, Tesla is not GM or Ford. They're following Amazon, which has its critics, but yet they have been and continue to be successful. Tesla is strong, absolutely 100%. Dino in the chat room says, not losing money, investing the money, making the company grow. Yep. George telling me, you got to go eat. We'll be here tomorrow. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm caught up to all the comments. Thank you for all of the contributions and super chats and just contributions as far as your opinions is concerned. We'll continue this in the comment section of the video. Tomorrow, I'm going to put together a video. I'm going to try to stick to 11 a.m. Pacific time from now on. I still have some like doctor appointments that are still scheduled in the morning, so I'll do it in those days. I'll do it at 7 p.m. But I think I'm going to really try for 11 a.m. That looks like most of you are watching at this time. And it's also in Europe. It's convenient for people in Europe and here in the United States and Canada. I'm gonna talk about the Cyber Monday deals. I'm gonna go and find some Cyber Monday deals. If you are, please in the comment section for this video, let me know what type of products you would be looking for. I know that some of the e-scooters and e-skateboards and electric lawnmowers is something that a lot of electric car owners are interested in. I'm going to try to scour internet. I'm not going to specifically talk about specific deals because I think it's really like too specific for people. I'm just going to send you to places that are having sales and give you some tricks, which I already gave you guys one of my best tricks on finding deals earlier today. I'm just going to tell you some tricks about how to get these deals. Okay, guys, we've been on for 2.5 hours. Once again, thank you for participating. Thank you for super chats. I know I have homework of creating a Patreon page. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great Sunday afternoon or evening, wherever you're at in the world. And I will see you guys tomorrow for the Cyber Monday conversation and some cool sales. Thank you again. I will see you guys then. And remember to stay charged.